What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back with another installation of the Double Shot, and this time we're coming at you AGL Christmas Tourney style. It's a brawl for it all, and we're bringing you the heat in this cold weather game. I am the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run. What's up, Whiskey?
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. And I know we got a chance to talk to a lot of you at the NAL finals, and very much looking forward to this one as a new league spotlight, right? Showing off the AGL. I don't know if you haven't had a chance to check this league out. We're going to put a command in the chat to be able to check out the AGL, but they're having a Christmas tourney, and this one is a awesome matchup, rematch between the grand final teams from the previous season. They've made it all the way to the semi here in their Christmas tournament. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that bracket real quick, my friend, to see which teams we're at. Yeah, bottom semifinal, Team Chosen taking on BlackHole Esports. On the upper side of the bracket, we've got KSU and Soup's Disciples as the other team fighting for that final spot.
That's right, and that one's going to be played out, I believe, tomorrow on Caster 4's channel, if I'm correct. Shout out Caster 4. But tonight, it's a rematch. It's a grudge match. BlackHole Esports versus Team Chosen. Taking a look at the names here. Tadix, Trinsic, Toxic, Na, and Zyven, or Ziven. Not sure exactly how to say that one. And then on the side of Team Chosen, Kenny J, Merlin, Ty, Padip, and Easy Killin. Got some straight cold-blooded killers on this side. I know Trinsic and Tadix being at the top of those kill lists through this tournament. This is going to be a good game run.
Yeah, and they went all 5 maps in that grand final just in the previous season. So in a best of 3, they've already got each other's tactics down. Which maps are we going to see? And honestly, I was hoping for Fortress because it was in the list, but we didn't get it today.
Nope, not going to happen. They're going to get that one off right before the first pick went through. You can see it on the ban list there. Means our first 2 maps that we get to tonight, Consulate and NightHaven, a couple of the newer additions to the pool here. And then should a Fade Demon necessary, should they both take one of those maps, we're headed all the way to the textbook map that is Clubhouse for the final.
That's right, my friend. Clubhouse to finish it off. But first, man, we have got to hit Consulate. And it's game time, my friend.
Man, I love Consulate. I know you've been talking about, you were this big Consulate D1 hater, but it's just taken on a life of its own now, and become one of those go-to maps where, yeah, you can absolutely see a bit of a dogfight.
It's one of those maps, too, that talking with the players at the T1, T2 scene that, you know what, some of them have actually come to not really be a fan of this one because it can be very defensive heavy unless you're very good on attack. This can be a very defensive sided map and certainly make it difficult to make progress consistently, constantly on this map, giving, I think, the BlackHole Esports team just a bit of an advantage as we walk into this one. But it was Team Chosen's map pick, so looking for them to make a big splash here on the attacking side. Can they pull it off? I mean, they've got Padip. We have casted him 100 times on a variety of different teams. A resurgence, a comeback here on the Double Shot channel.
Yeah, but here's the fun part about that, right? You've got the old heads that are on the side, on that side of Team Chosen that have been around, who have done it, and then you've got this solid console stack that is BlackHole Esports. They just made that PC swap, so hoping to see what they're bringing to the table. Maybe something a little bit different. You know, we've been seeing a lot of that console switch over play lately.
I mean, it's the way. If you want to play competitive Siege, that's where everything is happening, right? Outside of the Rival Roller series, outside of some of the independent draft tourneys that you see on the console side that are so freaking popular, once you get into more of the paid leagues, the T2 side, it's all PC. If you want to continue to move up, I mean, we got to see it. The rise of Stompin' in those rosters, the way that Kaysen, man, there's a couple other guys that I'm like drawing a blank on. Vic Bands, right, guys that have made it to the T2 finals at this point. Doing it on the PC side, it's the next evolution in competitive play, and the guys know it. So, right, start working that side of it, play the PC leagues, and starting off here at the AGL Christmas Tourney.
That's right. Defense going on double duty on some of that denial as they're going to lean into both that Tachanka and the smoke, right? Almost hitting the trifecta there of that Legion of Boom gameplay that we see out of the 3 area denials. I like this setup. Couple that with the trip connectors are going to make getting that middle wall.
Oh.
That tough Merlin going to say hello on the first kill of the game, and it's going to be a C4 onto the Blackbeard. Got him.
Man, I love the C4 kills, and you know what? If we'll talk a little bit about the event that's going on in Siege right now outside of the competitive play, but bringing back cooking nades. That was sort of the counter to all of the C4 kills that we've seen happen, right? It gave the defenders, you know, a little bit of a pause as they're walking around upstairs as the attackers got that chance to play downstairs direct, and the C4s really took over that. Honestly, great to see that that's the opening pick, and then to lose the Blackbeard off the rip. That is a tough one. So BlackHole, a little bit of a boost, but man, how about just jaywalking across that open door at the top of Spiral?
And had himself a little bit of a panic as that grenade started to come in, but he finds himself into the relative safety of Spiral. Tadix now is in that low health scenario, but BlackHole maintains that man advantage. So honestly, these trip connectors doing some crazy work at holding off that pushover from the other side.
Honestly, we got to see so many of the trick connector setups as a part of the NAL finals, and it got highlighted several times. Some great play there, but no, look at that. Takes the shot, Trinsic punishes him in that final minute of gameplay. It is all down to Padip. 1v5 scenario. Can he pull this off outside the map?
Well, round 1, you're going to need an ace to claim this one. That's a great start. A little bit of a wall bang's going to find the first kill, and you've got a couple of low health scenarios. The thing that doesn't play out into his favor right now, Run, is that you've still got all of the area tonight, right? 31 seconds, and they're just going to lock them into that room. Little bit of fire, little bit of smoke, a little bit of 24 seconds to probably top this one out.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the new season where Ace has got a lot of advantages, not being blocked out by the mute jammers anymore, so Tadix doesn't have that same boost. But, I mean, just being stuck outside, the area denial very strong on this map. We talked about it being defensive-sided, and BlackHole is going to be the victors there in that case. They take him down. Not a flawless, as he picked off one, but solid victory there for the defense.
No surprises there on the way this one starts out. Able to hold on to the 2F. Now taking it down to the basement, and probably see some similar strats, although you can already see them switching up a little bit on who they're bringing to the table. We didn't even talk bans yet, Run, right? On those defensive, they're having to work around that Mira Fenrir ban, which honestly, probably, I know that Mira is kind of that incredibly feared operator, but I like this Fenrir ban even more. You can't hit what you can't see, so take them off the board's going to give you at least a couple more attempts at that.
Well, and we talked about this a few times too, right? Down, you want to call it the cheese ops, the attacking utility operators of the Ying and Grim gone on the BlackHole side. So what does that force? It leaves them open. Yeah, all of the hard breach ops going to force this team chosen attack into playing some fundamental siege, opening up those sight lines, opening up the walls, and they're going to back it up from Merlin with some of these shields in play. And it was the Blackbeard that went down first on that previous map, so we haven't really got a chance to see what can Team Chosen do when they've got all 5 alive, plus the shield sort of give them that entry point. So if Merlin goes down early, certainly going to make it difficult, but it brought along a pair of the vertical ops, which I think is a great call here on Consulate, with both Kenny J, as it were, and the Ty bringing out the buck. They're going to be able to open up this floor upstairs completely, where Trinsic is setting up with the mute, fully expecting that.
I like it. You've got 2 people down. You've got 2 people on the very top and right in the middle. This is going to be that Trinsic sandwich, right? It's a shotgun and an SMG-11 to hold it down, but they're just going to push in and try to get this isolation nice and early. Moving up to yellow, they're going to try to put some pressure onto, well, I was going to say onto Trinsic, but already we're going to see Kenny J just get ripped off the board.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a part of that vertical play already gone, and it's going to force the Buck into it. Certainly a more important piece of the play here. But look at this. Oh, no, easy killing. Just in a Uno reverse card, loses his life, so they lose the Dokkaebi in that first minute of gameplay. No ability to use her gadget late in the rounds or steal him at this point, and puts this BlackHole team on defense in a solid 5v3 advantage position. Right now, Chosen's struggling to get a little bit going, but it is a best of 3 if you're just joining us. Welcome in, everyone. Gonna figure out which team is the best, but there's plenty of Siege left to be played, only round 2 of this best of 3.
Well, now they've effectively done their job as defenders, right? They've got their first 2 kills, they've got the man advantage, so now all it is kind of resting onto the trade game. And you did see him start to kind of rotate back down to site. Bunker up just a little bit, but figured, you know what? They don't need to, right? We're hitting shots. They're putting pressure on from both sides. There's a box G in hand. Why not just go try to send it? That's exactly what we're looking at. Still 2 locked up onto the top. That's now making his way back downstairs. Oh, isn't going to find it, but the trade does happen. Able to take Nah off the board, but damage done. 4v2 now with just under a minute to go.
4v2 is honestly one of the better scenarios we've seen. Team Chosen from the attack, sitting, and then she's just as I say it, the Boss G answers back and puts Padip in a 1v4 scenario. Again, the last man left alive. The support, the hard breach, having to fight his way into sight and is saying, guys, you can't leave me hanging like this.
Especially when we haven't dealt with that extension util. Right, just absolutely cooking with the Goyos now. Just waste the rest of that time. Completely spread out, still have the vertical hold. Again, just gonna kind of get out and talk about it for a second. Well,
wow, the environmental ingredient just fries him in the corner, taking shots. He didn't actually have to hit ace. He just needed to block the doorway off, and honestly, well played there. And again, another defensive win on the primary secondary. So we're not surprised to see a top floor and a basement win at this point. Feels like, though, that it hasn't been close. BlackHole has really been dominating here on the defensive side. Now, it is early, so we'll leave it up, a lot of open questions here for this team. But Team Chosen now has got the opportunity, the tertiary site. What are they going to pull off this time? The vertical not really working. The shield's not really working. I'm going to see them adapt around this.
Good question, right? History's repeated itself 2 rounds in a row, leaving Padip to try to bring this one back. Now, though, is a good opportunity for this team, right? We call it the test on the Tersh. One of those one of those opportunities where you have the ability to take to put some pressure onto the less favorable site. And in this case, it's going to be that exhibition piano room site. Not opting for the split on this one. So, what do we want to see different? Good question. I think a strong hold of sussing out this vertical is going to be a great place to start.
Yeah, and you can see this this defense and tons of utility getting put upstairs and on that mid-floor side. And look at that, 4 of those players upstairs. Combination of the extra intel on the Valkyrie, the slowdown, and love getting to see the trip connectors come out again. And that's where Denari's holding down meeting room. So they've got deployables up, man. They have got everything, so they're expecting a vertical play here from Team Chosen. There is an opportunity, maybe, for something quick if this is identified to go down, maybe play a sort of a site direct. But you take a look at where Team Chosen is at so far. Yeah, a little bit of silent entry into the basement from the Nook. Feels like a little bit of a bank push here, but the rest still outside the building as we get close to that first minute of gameplay gone.
Now going to see easy killing with the new gun, start to creep up, spiraled, put some pressure on this first engagement. He's got his gadget. Now it has been reworked, so he can kind of just hang out in the area, not exactly get spotted out. Now going to go for a bit of a pinch maneuver here, run. Blitz slowly crept up towards this top floor. Going to try to put some pressure onto these top floor players to catch one off guard and put them sleeping.
He's making a lot of noise, though, as that shield player. For sure, this BlackHole defense knows exactly where he's coming from at this point, and they're not moving a lot. They are just holding on, waiting, inviting the team chosen attackers in. But look at this. Finally, that new DMR making an appearance. Breezy killing to pick up one with Kenny a second. Merlin still fighting upstairs, and look at this. No, hits the trip connector, gives his position away, and now Denaria hoping he can hide and prevent this pinch, but wow. Well played there.
Yeah, still holding on to this vertical here. As now they've only got one person up to actually play contest, and Malusiad just going to slow this process down completely. Now he's kind of locked into the corner run. It's a 3v2, but look at this. It's panic on the side of Blitz as he's got to get the heck out and try it again. Now, here's the thing. They didn't dislodge that 2F play. Now can still put that vertical on should it need.
Yeah, that was unfortunate play there from the attack. It looked like they had the play, but yeah, forced into the corner here. The attackers can just take those shots through the hatch, lock the shield player in the corner, but no, he does manage to escape. They still have Gotson married now, but goes for the plant. You got to be kidding me with 25.
No kidding. Now into a 2-2. Dire situation for the defense. If they've got some low health, they got to try to bring this back into contention, and you've still got a shield on board. Sends out that gas. It's going to do a little bit of damage, but the wallbang not going to find anything just yet. 30 seconds as it starts the countdown run, and this switched again to feeling attacker-sided on this push. Beautiful push in, beautiful contest on the top floor, and then in the 2-2, they plan it out. Yeah, that was a good one.
Damn, well played there. I thought that we were going to see another BlackHole defensive win after they were able to lock down that top floor, but good read by Merlin and the shield to jump out that window, know that there was no way he was going to be able to make the push out of meeting upstairs. Yeah, let's see. Hard rotate late in the round. He's backed up by one other player. And honestly, if he didn't have the shield, there's no way he survives the transition from the closet or past the hatch into the other half of site to be able to get that plant down. So Blitz, made it work. And honestly, I wondered whether or not we'd see a shield ban come out here as we get into the end of the first quarter. BlackHole, though, is going to say they rather keep those electronic gadgets alive and take out the Brava as the alternative. And you know what? From the chosen side, just having all of their avenues, the way that they're playing the game identified by the defense, going to get rid of the Valkyrie to hopefully make that just a tad bit easier.
I like the Brava ban here. Means that they're going to bring some interesting stuff when we get down a little bit closer towards that late end of the half here. They're going to lean back into that similar strat they saw before for 2F. Doubled up on the area denial. Those trip connectors, which proved to be a little bit difficult, led to one of the kills for sure in that last iteration of 2F. And then a zombie, right? The architect just going to lock in some of that static warfare play. The defense worked for a reason. See how Team Chosen could be able to combat it this time.
All right, second floor, back up to the primary. You made a good call. I love the fact that, we're seeing, it feels like the Chaka has moved into that power position here for the second floor, but in the wind condition that you mentioned, backed up by the smoke. And honestly, even though we've seen Mute almost every round, feels like he was got a big nerf from just taking a look at the patch notes, but overall, I think he's been, made this work really well and still is a vital piece of the puzzle. And look at that, was waiting for the C4 with the Thatcher, but it wasn't the C4 that came out. It was a bit of a distraction. Man, that was well played by the BlackHole defense. Team Chosen was freaking ready for it using the Thatcher, and they didn't pull off that strat.
Man, beautiful play. Honestly, right, you kind of bait out a C4 rip to get the Thatcher not to be guns up, and they are absolutely rewarded. A little bit of trigger discipline there. He's going to try to hold out, and they are going to find the kill. Now it's going to be equalized here with just under 2 to go.
Man, 3, 4, 4-4 there for a second. I mean, so close. But again, Team Chosen feels like they are always fighting from behind at this point. They did manage to get the plant down when they were down a man and pulled off a win there with good coverage. So can they pull that off again? The problem is the second floor a little bit more difficult. And, boy, you talk about that LMG being slow from Tachanka. So how about you run that secondary? We're in a 3v2 scenario with this final minute of gameplay down. We talked about the fundamentals. They're opening up those sight lines, and Ace is still left alive, so they have options. He just doesn't have any more gadgets left alive, but look at this. Ouch, backed up into the trip connector.
That's a tough one. Now you get your location revealed, you get the debuff that's going down, and Run, I just gotta point it out, 3 smoke canisters and 18 of the launchers still in play. 47 seconds left. That spells disaster for this attacking team. How in the world are you going to be able to get in when they've got the area denial blocked completely?
They need to not peek the angles, man. Hold back far. What are you doing? Team Chosen just played that freaking better than BlackHole did across the board in these final seconds. You have a ton of area denial, all the smokes, all of the canisters, and you're going to go ahead and swing ones and lose the fight to the ACOGs. Man, that is just an unfortunate play there from BlackHole. Chosen just better in that scenario. A throw from the defense puts us at 2-2 as we head into round 5. Man, a little bit of the tides turning. Those first 2 rounds were all BlackHole esports, and they've started to show some weakness as we get into round 5.
The weakness there, Run, was ego for sure. They just absolutely, they're like, you know what, we can afford to throw a body or 2, and then everybody went and they threw them all, and attackers tie it up. You know, sometimes it gets the best of all of us. You feel like you're frying, you're gonna take that extra swing, and then unfortunately you got somebody on the other side who just wanted it more. Tied up 2-2. Defense, they're gonna run that one back. Not quite confident or comfortable with how that round ended.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. That was definitely a few mistakes, and they can play that better. I love the interaction at the beginning where they, baited out the C4. Well played on the Team Chosen side, right? They were expecting, waiting for it. Had the Thatcher in play. They're going to adjust that strategy for sure. Not run the Thatcher this time, but for sure, I mean, they've got to work on clearing out some of this defensive utility into that vending hallway. The trip connectors, a little bit devastating. The deployable shield stayed up all the way to the end, and if they hadn't thrown it, that was a defensive win for sure.
So now here's the big question, right? You didn't bring the Thatcher for the C4 this time. Do they send it? Well, there it is. A
yes.
To get one is should they choose to show their heads here on the admin side of things and take a look with a drone. See if they can suss out where this mute's at. It's a tough position to find yourself. They could shoot this thing out the air. They've got the crossfire set. And here it is as they open up the hole. Blackbeard's going to start to make his way in, and there it was. Sent one, but not able to connect just yet. That's all the C4's done and dusted now off the table.
That's a huge boost there for the attackers. Not have to worry about the C4s at this point, but still tons of area denial. 19 and 3 of the canisters. Problem is Merlin's still running the shield. Has not been super successful though. Somebody pointed it out. Right now BlackHole has been on fire with the opening picks. Tadix is going to carry that one forward, and this time the dip in that ace goes down, so the support, the hard breach gone. They're not going to have any opportunity to open up some of these sight lines, but well, take a look at this. Nah goes down, playing upstairs, looking for a spot, and it is easy killing, running that Nook DMR again, and honestly, love that DMR. It feels like they have fixed everything at this point, so all of the the pause that we saw from playing the DMR during the SILCQs 2 weekends ago is completely gone at this point. Now we're going to get to see the full effect of that DMR in competitive play.
That's right. Head on a swivel, though. Look for that prone to mute who has a shotgun to do some denying. Finds a kill and the man advantage on that one. And now Now we're going to rest on that mid kind of invisible wall play. You got Tachanka, who's able to just kind of blanket and fire still. 3 smoke canisters in hand. Now they're going to go for the flash, try to put some pressure on, but it looks like they're ready for this spiral push.
Oh, 100%. Backed up by the Kiva barriers, still in play. The trip connector's going off. Man, the defensive utility not cleared and is slowing this attack down. 20 seconds in a 3v2.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Merlin is able to find one, but not without being traded out. It's going to be Merlin, the spearhead. He's going to take a trip connector hit, and it's going to spell disaster. Merlin getting ripped off the board, which means BlackHole Esports, they're going to find themselves another win, and they do it dramatically here on the top floor.
Yeah, that one was much better. A better hold upstairs, no ego swinging that time, and honestly, Team Chosen didn't do as well this time around to clearing out the defensive utility upstairs. The trip connector's still in play. They didn't have the Thatcher to try and disable some of those electronic gadgets. We heard at least 2 of them go off, and BlackHole picked up kills off the back of that defensive utility. Team Chosen was just not doing as well that round. Part of it may be losing. I'm guessing that Padip is running the IGL on this squad because he is very good and has been around the scene for a long time. Although, honestly, we got a couple gunners on that team. So if anybody knows, go ahead and let us know. Who is IGLing this team right now? Because, right, if he goes down, may lose a little bit of confidence coming out of it. It's a good question.
That is a good question. I guess we'll find out. 3-2 as it sits. Last round of the first half of the first map. You see the Vigil back on the board. So they're looking to take us into that standard 4-2 split arena. And this time on the side of the attack, they're going to make sure that they're getting some of that vertical in play as they're bringing out both the Sledge and the Buck.
I like that they've got, again, doubling up here on the vertical play. It's one of the things that they looked like they wanted to set up. They lost some of that utility early on, but man, look at that. Tons here getting cleared out finally by the Twitch. I love this play. Right? It felt like they should have had the Twitch in play earlier because of how BlackHole had set up very utility heavy. Man, gonna lose all of the Goyo canisters before the Twitch even loses that first round.
So a little bit of a slowdown here. This first minute goes through. Solus all the way up on the second floor with Tadix, and they of course know that there's going to be that 2F pressure. Blitz is making his way in on the hunt. See who can put some pressure on this time. Last time they tried this run, they were able to find one of the kills, but not quite enough to get the job done. The Flash going to see Solus in a bit of a push point, and that's going to be a double ringing out by Team Chosen. So they're able to take both Trinsic and Nah off the board. Huge first couple of kills.
Well, it's one of the first times we finally saw Team Chosen pick up the opening kill, and man, they have carried that momentum forward into a 5v2 scenario. Yeah, and this time Blitz was upstairs and able to isolate one of the defenders, playing the Solus, use that operator in the most annoying way possible, and exactly what you needed. But look at this lurk coming out from the Goyo. Ziv in there, but he's gonna lose his life. Man, easy, just running the DMRs, being devastating, but finally, opening pick translated into a ton of momentum for the Team Chosen attack, and we end 3-3 split, and wild what a difference we've seen off the start. BlackHole goes 2-0, dominating fashion. Team Chosen has made honestly a serious mental comeback here on map 1. And if you're just joining us, welcome in everyone. It is the AGL, America's Gaming League. This is the Christmas tourney and is a rematch between the grand finalists from the previous season here at AGL. So a little bit of grudge match, which I think is part of why we saw the ego swinging back on that round 3.
Yeah, he said, I've done it once, I'll do it again, and cost him around for it. We find ourselves tied up here on the first match, and this is exactly what you would want to see in this rematch grudge match, right? Just leaving everything out on the playing field. I love where we're sitting now. Bands are going to ring out. This time, Attacker is going to go something a little bit spicy, right? Take the Deimos and the Dokebi off the board. I like this one.
Well, I mean, it's focused here on Consulate. It's so much open space, right? All the vertical so important, and I think the fact that it's Team Chosen wants to play a little bit heavier run game get rid of 2 of those very powerful roam clear operators on the attack. It's going to force them into using, right, the Jackal, maybe, but unlikely. It does leave the Grim and the Ying available, plus all of the hard breaches. So this feels very targeted from a Team Chosen defensive side. Expect them to have a very big roam game, and that can honestly, I'm questioning the choice a little bit just because of how strong some of these sites are when you play some of the fundamental siege. So it's definitely their style, and we'll see whether or not BlackHole is expecting or right going to be able to play into that. Now, like we said, these 2 teams played in the grand final from season 3, and we're going to see, I think, all of the maps that were a part of that best of 5. We look at Consulate, it was map 4. It was a 7-5 victory for Team Chosen. So this is a map that they have beat BlackHole on. And honestly, you go into a 3-3 split, and you end up here at Team Chosen tied up. This feels like their map right now. BlackHole now on the back foot.
That's right. We'll see what they're going to bring to the table. It's definitely going to be a little bit of spearhead action as the Blackbeard is here. See some of that similar play that you see on. Oh, good night. Gonna find that first one as Kenny J just gets caught slacking. Now he does find some damage, but Buck still lives currently. C4 is primed, ready for that Visa admin side overtake. Nobody quite ready to put that pressure on just yet.
Yeah, they're moving a little bit slow here, but man, we talked about the fact that they were going to have a very spread out defense. Look at that easy downstairs in the basement, and BlackHole is hunting him. Trinsic on this Blackbeard is just looking, but honestly, he is just looping the block in the basement, wasting a ton of time here. And then how about that? They finally find the basement defender. Puts him in a 4v, but 3v5 scenario at this point with Nas so close to death, but still left alive.
Holding on to that body balance by 2 now. You can hear the clutch getting to work, but I'm going to go ahead and stop it in its track, not able to claim that camera. They get rid of it anyway, just to make sure. You take no chances. And now with 1:12 left, now they're going to start putting the pressure on the vertical, but they didn't blow the C4 run. That means, yeah, good luck coming on in. They're going to have to take out this mute first.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in. They've cleared out some of this defensive utility, but you still, the shield is still up. Still going to be able to play behind in there. Finally, Na goes down. Not surprising. He was just a bullet away from death. But look at that. Another trip connector hit. Man, they have been on fire on both sides of the aisle at this point. Trip connectors just being devastating now with that final 30 seconds. It's a 3v2. Anybody's game. A little bit of boost for BlackHole with the man advantage. Who's going to take this one?
Well, they're going to start getting the plant down, and as a flash rings out, oh, what a shot on the Padip. He gets taken off the board. It's a post-plant scenario, and they're going to find it easily on this side. That feels, if you're a BlackHole esports fan, that feels like a good position to find your first on attack.
Yeah, huge win on the second floor, puts you up in the scoreline on a defensive map, on the one that Team Chosen won in that grand final back in Season 3. So, huge victory there for the BlackHole guys. Now, still early in this best of 3, could go either way. We're going to see Team Chosen run it back one more time. And honestly, just got to say, shout out in the chat. We got some legends in there. Appreciate everybody joining us here for this best of 3. It's a Christmas tourney. We're getting ourselves set up and ready for all of the LCQ SI action tomorrow. We're going to see the EML in the morning. Starts at 7 a.m. Eastern, which honestly, Mighty, you're not that far away at this point. Then we're going to be here on the Seeds Double Shot, 1 p.m. for the North America LCQs. Expecting to take a look at how LFO, Standby, Nade Shot Help, whatever you want to call them, are going to try and win their spot into that closed qualifier for SI LCQs.
Big weekend for Siege right now. Can't even wait for it. Okay, well, a couple of new faces on the board here. Run for the defense. They're going to try to get up top. They're confident they figured out exactly what they can do. And this time, it's going to lean into that slowdown, right? It's bringing out the cap can. It feels like an interesting pick, especially if you're going to be caught off guard. It was really late that the attacking squad got up and took this Visa side, they claim that space. They won the round. C4 is going to ring out, and this time it's not even going to be close. No denial to be had, and that's the only one on the board. So Visa going to be a little bit easier to take.
There's a few of the cap cans on the we got to see it just briefly there, but I think you got cap cans on the Visa window, so that could be a little bit of thorn here in this attacker's side. Do they recognize? They're certainly gonna have to waste a bunch of time clearing that utility first. So the C4 doesn't hit, but there's still explosives waiting for it. And man, look at this. Kenny J sounded like he had a read on that main lobby door, and there it is. One easy gets Toxic to go down. Cap can. Well placed there, and they lose the Grim. They lose that attacker intel.
Man, that's a tough one. And now, since you've got that kill, it's just going to be in the heads of the attackers the entire rest of the map. Not just the round, but the map. Even if you, even if they don't bring it on the next one, it's still going to be playing that mental game. You check every door. You check every window. Every single double that comes in, and that's going to slow down. That's going to amount to some time. Peek hole here. Buck gonna try to get active. He takes a shot. There's gonna be a quick look down there, but he doesn't even make the peek. It's just a pre-fire. And both of them allowed to live on that scenario. 5v4, just over a minute to go.
Yeah, I mean, Chosen still has got a little bit of that hold playing upstairs, and knowing that you've got players, taking some shots down below, but this attack is very spread out at this point. Intrinsic is going to catch easy, going to take down one, finally answering back at this point for the final minute of gameplay, but there's still a lot of defensive utility in play. They're going to lose the mute at this point, but honestly, he was 6-5, having a great game overall. Still have got plenty of opportunity here, and man, you can see the Buck just going to work downstairs. No one to put pressure on him. He's going to have to make the rotate up, though. Tries it on the Visa stairs. Defense, though, rotates out of harm's way.
All right, back into the main advantage for BlackHole Esports here as they've got 30 seconds to get active. They still got one to dislodge, and now with that tie-up, that's going to feel pretty good. Merlin gets taken off the board in retaliation, now into a 3v2, 22 seconds left, a pistol out as he's going to just push up and start to take the shots. One from the long angle. Doesn't get down, does a little bit of damage, but now into a tough position. Equalized yet again as Ty's able to find one off the board. The pressure from Spiral, the pressure from the backside side as well. They're going to find one. Naga's taken off the board. Defense is going to claim the second floor on the second attempt.
Man, well played there. The Deagle didn't have to hit the first couple times he shot it. Just did enough damage behind those one-way Kiba barriers to enable his teammate to take shots at his toes and win that battle. So, yeah, you said it. Team Chosen doing better the second time around on that second floor to tie this thing back up. And if you're asking yourself, what is AGL? It's America's Gaming League. We're looking to highlight, showcase some of the leagues here, T4. So you recognize a few of the names, but up-and-comers for sure as we're getting ourselves ready for the big cast tomorrow, SILCQs. And honestly, anybody can join it. Still open if you got a 5-stack and want to qualify to play in SI instead of just buying a ticket. Sign up, my friends.
That's right. Get active. Get amongst it. A chance to play against the pros. You said behind your screen that you could get it done. Now it's your chance to prove it. All right, Run. Tied up here. 4-4 as we find ourselves set. Defense now going to take it down to that basement area.
10 seconds to go.
A little bit of intel on the board. A little bit of breach denial. This Bandit is going to try to keep that wall closed. Fairly standard setup, I'd say, on the defensive side. I ain't mad at it.
A little bit shocking to me was the fact that we saw basically 0 breach denial across the board here on a Consulate at this point. We're on to round 9, and I think it's the first time we've seen a breach denial op, right? Cade, Bandit, basically absent so far, and we didn't ban the hard breaches, so it was basically inviting everyone to just do the fundamental siege work without having to work around the electricity, the denial. So that's been interesting, and at this point, I don't feel like I'm counting Mute as a breach denial op anymore because he doesn't counter Ace, so he's only partially on that role. But it's interesting that we hadn't seen him. I mean, Cade was at an incredible ban rate overall on basically every map at this point. So it's interesting now that we're in the new patch. We fixed a few bugs here into Year 10, Season 4. yeah, I mean, the Breach Now Op's not a big part of Siege right now. Wild.
It's an interesting time period. They get buffed and they become a little bit irrelevant. I'm here for it. We're going to start to get some cams up top here. See if we can find any top floor pressure. And really, they're looking for the roaming smoke here, which is one of my absolute favorite uses of the smoke, right? You get up close, you try to claim some lives, and then you've got your smoke canister to fall off from, deny them from following you down. Still holding on to this first floor by everybody else. Or, I mean, excuse me, by Easy and Kenny. Means they're applying that top floor pressure. We could see a flame here.
Honestly, I'm surprised at this point. When we saw the team chosen defensive bans come out to take down the Damos and the Doki, we said, oh, that just leaves Jackal on the board. But nobody plays Jackal in the competitive setting. And, geez, Trinsic is the guy that brings it out. I was honestly not expecting it to see him. And, damn it, just as we talk about him, Jackal and Trinsic goes down. I'm sorry, bro. That was on. Yeah. That is a crazy caster curse. Holy cow.
That is 100% on you. And if there's any BlackHole Esports fans in the chat, it's racing_E or racing ENGR on Twitter. Go ahead and call him out for his caster curse. Does find a second now as the hard breach goes down, and that feels like a good position if your team chosen, especially when you claim that vertical. Taking Tactics off the board as well. Now into a 5-2, and this spells disaster for this aggressive attack team.
He's got one more fuse charge left in hand. We were seeing that rain havoc down from above, and he's going to try and clear out the defensive utility. This time, he's got the diffuser, so with the extra intel, with the fuse in hand, they still have got two more of those SAM cams as well. So they have information, but not enough time as he's running down the stairs through the smoke and meets a shotgun to just end it. His team chosen. Flawless victory in the basement. You know, way too much time spent upstairs trying to clear this team out, and even with the Jackal, that the roam game there from Team Chosen, just not enough that BlackHole Esports could do. Well played.
Okay, so that's on the precipice of seeing a match point scenario. Team Chosen now one away from living out that dream, which means the pressure is going to go on to BlackHole Esports. But this has been a back and forth run. I see no reason why we don't see the tie-up right now. I mean, I'm feeling OT on map number 1, and it feels like an easy call.
I mean, if you take a look back at this game, when they played it in the final, went all 12 rounds, 7-5 victory for Team Chosen, and we feel like we're on our way at that point. So close. Interesting, one of my favorite parts about Consulate, one of the reasons I did like it, at least a little bit initially, is we got to keep the split site. The only place in Rainbow Six Siege currently where you get to see one of those top floor and a first floor basement site at the same time, and certainly makes it difficult for defenders which piece do you want to cover. Really makes that opening intel very important to try to determine where the attackers are coming from and then set up all the defenses based on it. And the fact that Kenny is running the pulse and the shoddy, I love that combo. This is a great spot for
it. Okay, I do love it. Yep, absolutely. I heard the tech now was to take the silencer off, and I've been feeling it. I've been running a lot of Cade lately. It feels like a good pick. Well, I think one of the standouts to me here, Run, is they're doubling up on that intel, right? Both Solus and Pulse on the board means that they're going to have a good idea where this push is coming from, where the plant's going down, and an effective way to stop it.
We talked about the Breach Denial Ops as Bandit making an appearance. This time we're going to see the Cade as the alternative as well, so good call there from the defense to try and block off that secret side. And yeah, you said interesting that the tech is without that the silencer. That's kind of crazy how good it is. But look at that. He's going to catch one. Wow, he did get the second ace charge, so they're not going to be able to enter through that breach. They're going to have to spend some more artillery trying to clear off those ace charges. And look at all of this intel there that Solus is picking up downstairs. And do they know that Easy, running the K1A upstairs, have no idea Na pays the price for it?
Yeah, huge first pick, too. Now they claim that man advantage as they're trying to push towards that match point scenario, and taking the spearhead off the board feels like a good play, especially when you've got so much slowdown on the side of the defense, right? Now it's going to be a little bit tougher to get yourself in and around. They get onto that top floor, looking to see if they can find anybody, but everybody's rotated back down now. Damage done. Now they can hold on to the first floor and deny more of that time.
Yeah, I mean, tons of time upstairs on this second floor. I mean, yeah, you're trying to work that vertical piece, but man, just tragic right now here for this BlackHole attack. They are struggling still, have not identified where all the defenders are playing. They've got plenty of intel at this point and moving just a little bit too slowly, trying to clear that out. You know, you take a look, all right, run a spiral, run the hallway. Where exactly are they going to try and push? It feels uncoordinated right now, and Team Chosen is going to punish them for it.
Lots of intel being fed by the Pulse as he's just able to let everybody know where part of this push is coming from. In fact, 3/4 of it, they're going to find one. Tactics is going to take Merlin off the board, and that's going to be a good first step here for this BlackHole Esports. Start to try to climb this back in. Some shots fired, though. He's going to see some damage towards Ace. Got kind of pinned down in the corner now, so they're going to take the swing. Well, I thought they did. Ty's able to take Tactics down. Now that does get equalized on the refrag count, but all of a sudden, there's one coming up onto the lurk run, and now it's into a 3-1. A desperate situation for BlackHole Esports as they need to be perfect for 3, and they just got 20 seconds in which to do so. Still can't deal with the top floor. Still can't deal with the bottom floor. We're going to call this one good and dusted.
Yeah, the Pulse was just unbelievable here at this point. Just giving away a ton of intel, ton of information to their team. They play the vertical better. They're upstairs on that second floor, just completely derail the BlackHole attack. And then, right, Pulse is just feeding all the information from the complete safety of the basement, allows his team to go up and take shots, even though they lose a couple players in the interchange upstairs. Right, went perfectly for Team Chosen, and Pulse is the guy that gets that final kill to cap off around 6-4 at this point, and BlackHole, timeout. Good call at this point. You've lost 4 of the last 5 rounds, and now Team Chosen on that match point scenario for map 1.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, tough play. So what do? You take a timeout. You talk about it. What in the world went wrong on that push? And potentially we're hearing that Fabian-esque style. You're losing your ones, right? The big win con, you're going to have to deal with that 13-7 on the other side.
Oof. Tough call at this point. And you get to see at the primary site. Now, the good news for BlackHole is they did win that 2F site back on round 7. Picked that one up. So they have a win con here versus a Team Chosen. They can work around the defense that they've set up. The problem is that we're into the end of this. They don't have the Azami or the Blackbeard to try and work with that. So they lose that shield piece, and they're gonna run the Monty as the alternative, or at least showing it initially here. And it's to me, sometimes it feels like Monty is just a little bit too slow on this map to be truly effective, and lots of opportunities there for the defense to work and sort of deny that his utility on this map. But we'll see how it goes. I love the fact that they're running Denari. He has been so successful on this map. I basically want to see him every round at this point.
No kidding. Yeah, just not found a great way to deal with that outside of just walking into them. And that, of course, has been absolutely devastating for any of the attackers that tried that particular strat. So defense, you said that they're going to double up on that projectile denial. Both Jaeger and Lamai going to be on the board here with a little bit of shield support as well. This is going to be a dug-in defense run, a tough one to get active on. We'll see if BlackHole's got what it takes to get the job done.
Oh, they have to, right? This is a do-or-die scenario for this team here on Consulate. They're going to force that map 2, which is coming up next. NightHaven Labs. That one went in BlackHole's favor back in the Season 3 Grand Final. Geez, I'll get there, my friend. NightHaven Labs coming up next, and BlackHole's got to be perfect for 2 just to send this thing to overtime. So, you're going to lose. This is Team Chosen's map picks. We expected them to come out swinging. We had a 3-3 half, which was honestly a little bit a little better than we expected, which certainly put Team Chosen in the driver's seat for this one. And you can see the Monty trying to push up those yellow stairs, fighting a little bit of defensive utility, but that full minute gone at this point as it's shield v shield on yellow.
Man, and what a beautiful place to run the Clash, too, right? If you're going to bring the Monty, he's going to be pushing up those stairs. So a little shield-on-shield action there. Going to see the first one. Knob's going to get taken off the board as the vertical gets done, dusted, and dealt with. And if you're a Team Chosen fan, this feels like a huge step in the right direction at solidifying yourself this first match. Now looking for that pressure that's downstairs. Took Buck off the board, but they're not going to be able to displace him as he's good for a 3-piece now. Locked completely in. Merlin is unfortunately DC'd from the game, now into a 4-2, however. They've still maintaining that numbers advantage, at least by 1. Easy goes down. It's now 12-8, done, dusted, and dealt with, which means in this 3v2, you've got a minute, and the first step is going to be dealing with Kenny J.
Man, 50 seconds left, the 3v2 scenario, losing Merlin. He's back in. I wondered whether or not he was like, all right, we got this thing on lockdown, but honestly, against this BlackHole team, nothing is a guarantee, so he's back in the lobby, going to survive here. But what do? You got the Twitch, going to try and clear out some more of this defensive utility, but they haven't dealt with the Clash at this point that's posted up in reception, holding on to the top of the spiral stairs. That's going to make that avenue very difficult to push besides fighting directly. You don't have any of the Ash charges in play, so, man, what are you going to do? Just droning around like crazy is not the win con as man Kenny J takes one.
Unfortunate. You've heard him called the Alchemist, and in this time they're just going to Alchemiss, my friend. They lose that first map, and it was a little bit decisive towards the beginning. Next, we get to see NightHaven Labs, and hopefully there's going to be a BlackHole Esports coming alive, showing that they belong to be here.
Huge victory there for Team Chosen. 7-4. Congratulations to them for picking up map 1 of the best of 3. But it's not over yet. Only map 1 in the bag. NightHaven Labs coming up next on the T4 League Spotlight. This is the AGL Christmas Tourney, a legendary rematch between the two finalists from Season 3. You know what? A little bit on the line. Some money and honestly a ton of ego at this point in the rematch category.
That's right. And if you want to get you or your team in, like we said, we've got the LCQ tomorrow, which isn't anybody can join. But also, if you're just looking to cut your teeth, this is a great league to get it done. AGL, American Gaming League. If you hit ! League in the Discord or in the chat there, it'll give you the Discord link. Get your team. Get in. Get around it. You think you can do it better? Let's see it. And then tag us on Twitter saying you want to be cast to do it. We got a second map for you coming right up. NightHaven Labs in this brawl for it all. So sit back, relax, because when we come back, it's going to be a second map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. Map 1 is over and done, and now it's on to NightHaven Labs. This is my favorite map, Whiskey, and we're about to find out why, I think.
I can't wait till we get a chance to see Fortress finally to decide whether or not that could be one of our new favorite maps. I've not got a chance to see it in competitive play one time yet on the channel. Was hoping maybe we'd see some of the pros pick it up as a part of the NAL finals or Element 6 finals, but no. You know what, especially because it wasn't even in the map pool they were playing on, the old build, was not a chance in hell in that case. But tomorrow, my friend, is the opportunity. It's been a couple weeks now at this point that Fortress has been in the pool, so I'm feeling like teams are now getting ready to find some strats to play that. I can't wait. But NightHaven Labs here for now, your favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a lot of variety to it, and I think we'll see that with some of the new map coming up, too. It's kind of the theme they've been leaning into, right? Giving yourself multiple ways to get the job done, both attack and defense. And NightHaven, well, that's a big part of that one, right? There's so many avenues to push, even when you get into that target ban with those second and third bans going out. It just leaves a variety, and this is exactly what BlackHole Esports is going to need. They're going to need to bring something different to the table, because right now, Team Chosen feels like they're frying.
Now, that previous Consulate was Team Chosen's map pick. So we go into BlackHole Esports, their map pick. And if you look back at the grand final from the end of Season 3, this one was a BlackHole victory, 7-4. So far, the storyline playing out exactly the way we saw it from that grand final on Caster 4's channel. So we get into Clubhouse. That one was a Team Chosen victory. So if it makes it to the decider, again, a little bit of a boost to the Team Chosen side. So BlackHole is going to have to work harder this time around, my friend. But guess what? It's time for NightHaven.
Man, I do love some NightHaven. Okay, the brawl for it all. Are we going to see something similar in the way that these bans played out on the last time, right? Couple of off picks. We saw Deimos and Dokebi getting taken off the board. Obvious vertical is going to need to be dealt with for that tank assembly area. Honestly, couldn't call it right now. Would be not surprised with anything. You know, we used to see a ton of that Mav ban, but hasn't really been a factor in the ban phase recently, so we'll see how this one plays out.
I mean, it's Team Chosen felt like they were sort of picking some of the off plays, had some interesting choices in the way that they played out those bans. So this time around, get rid of the Monty. We talked about the shields being a pretty important part of the way that, at least I guess from Team Chosen on the attack, Merlin was playing the shields every time, but he didn't play Monty. On the BlackHole side, they didn't play an awful lot of the shields this time around, but I think the utility from Monty definitely better this time around. And interesting, one of the first times we're getting to see a Thatcher ban. It's that doesn't feel like that has happened in a long time.
Man, well, this is one of those maps that it's super great to have, right? When you're taking when you're taking IT electrical connector, the C4 to come ringing out over the top and claim you, that Jinxie C4 that can be so devastating to the early round play. Not going to be a factor, or still going to be a factor with that Thatcher off the board.
Yeah, that was
down to the basement first. What do you think about that run?
We're talking about the top of console where we saw the Thatcher deny the C4 directly. I thought that was a very clever use, but it doesn't feel like that's that's a lot of people and utility committing just to deny one piece of it. Almost feels like it's better to try and bait that out, drone that, as opposed to using, sort of tying up all the resources there. But I like the play in the basement here to start this thing off. Team Chosen, I think, again, playing just a little bit unconventionally, we said, across the board, and playing very spread out once again. This time, though, they didn't ban out those intel and roam clear ops, so it's going to make it a little bit easier for BlackHole to try and identify where Chosen's at. But, I mean, they're all over the board, right? 2F, 1F, only Dip downstairs with the Cade holding down to the basement direct.
I love this. The castle to help facilitate the extension, the cap cans to slow you down once you actually get inside. This is all pace right now here out of the defense, and they've got a couple of those hatches opened up, so they've got a plan B should things start to fall apart. They're going to see that first pressure directly. Look at this.
Yeah, hopping in, pushing the shield, and they don't have the Monty aboard, but they are going to run Trinsic here with the Blackbeard, and they're pushing it directly down this stairs, sight direct, hoping to take advantage of the fact that Team Chosen playing very spread out at this point. And yeah, they've got Zivin upstairs being a little bit distracting, but take a look at this. He's almost in Exo ready, and right now, Badip has no clue at this point. He is going to get flanked on the vending stairs.
No kidding. Imagine the Blackbeard flank. Now they've completely taken sight. This is going to be that forced retake scenario here from the defense, and they're just going to get in and start the plant. Defense almost feeling like
Look at
none
this.
the wiser here.
They had no clue. That is a huge play there from the BlackHole attack. They are spread out. They are distracting, and it completely worked versus this Team Chosen play. Man, they identified, went direct, and got that plant down. Now, Team Chosen is able to answer back a little bit. We're still talking about a 3v2 post-plant 20 seconds.
Yeah, but you got to have 7 on the board to get this one down, and the time is rapidly decreasing. BlackHole Esports with just a direct take into sight, and it proved to be golden. I guess we can call them the Alchemist this time. Touch the strat, turn to gold, and they found the win.
Man, Perfectly played there from the Black Hole attack side, reading into the fact that Team Chosen very spread out, roam heavy. They like to play that style and exploited there on round one. My guess is this is going to change the course of this map. Right, Team Chosen, I'm certainly going to play a different style, and if it forces them into making some changes that they're not as comfortable with, again, Black Hole can certainly exploit that. This is the Black Hole map pick. We're expecting them to pick up a win. Was that felt like an odd choice of the basement, and man, Black Hole was ready for it.
All right, well, now up to the top. You're going to see some similar operators on the board. They're going to stick the Capcan play. Didn't net them a kill on that last one. In fact, they bypassed all of it, just went straight down into sight. So hopefully getting to see a little bit of action out of that operator this time.
10 seconds to insertion.
Before it ultimately gets potentially banned out. On the side of the attack, it's going to be stock standard here. Buck for that vertical play up. They're going to open everything up with Thermite, who has had that rework, now has that third Thermite charge, which means he can do all of the work by himself, should he get it off on the first try for each one of them. And then, of course, the Flores, right? Rotero drones. Get rid of some of that extension. Make this clash move, which is going to be the big part to finding the kill onto Merlin.
I mean, there's two things for me, right? We saw the impact EMPs come out for trying to take care of the Capcan so they could walk through the door. So it was well played on the Black Hole attack, reading into that, using the util. And I love the Flores, right? This is a you highlighted a great pick here, because one of the reasons that Team Chosen sort of struggled, or Black Hole struggled against the Team Chosen defense on that previous map was tons of defensive utility that they sort of struggled to try and clear. Run the Flores this time to clear it out. Wow, and then you know what? You just go ahead and push in the top of the river stairs as the alternative. Pick up a pair from the team that was really struggling. And man, look at this. Buck from below, on target. They're going to deal with this clash very quickly as Kenny loses his life now as well. And man, what a dominating offensive performance here from Black Hole.
Absolutely. There's no resistance from the defense, so the hold just feeling very hollow at the moment. They do get the down onto Nomad, but not really anything that they can do about it. Potentially out of forcing this clash back, which is they are going to do exactly that. Buck going to open up that entire floor, now take that last one off the board. It's all going to be up to Merlin and this clash shield to get it done. Flashes are going to ring out as they put the pressure on, and Addix is going to take them and run. This time, they're going to do it flawlessly.
Another great run there from the attackers, right? Combination of great entry upstairs and bad positioning there from Team Chosen, right? You got Mute holding on to the bottom of the river, the fish stairs, right? He's just standing, waiting, expecting maybe the team, you know, to make the play downstairs, come out of the kitchen. Didn't hear all of the action happening upstairs. I mean, looked like completely caught unaware, and Black Hole punished him for it. And then Dip standing in the doorway, looking like he was going to take that fight with the DMR shoddy, and then just loses it. So those two early picks certainly put Team Chosen in a significant disadvantage. And Black Hole just rode the wave all the way, even though Merlin had that the clash in play. It's more of a support role. You need to have the rest of the team around to try and make that work, and just completely fell apart. So even though they had the clash, they had the K to try and block off some of this. Black Hole has just been very direct in the way that they're playing it. So, right, this good play here from T to come out and change. Run the Fenrir instead. Make that direct push in a little bit more difficult. Honestly, Capcan wouldn't have been a bad play here, although so far Black Hole done a great job of managing that piece.
So keeping the routine going means that we're going to see the Tersh site here, and instead of rerunning one of those mains, and still live into that extension. There is a C4 prepped, so they're going to start to open up that main warehouse, that main garage wall. I mean, they've got a direct access into that lobby now, should they have to make that push when they go for their pincher move. Really, going to be on the defense here to just hold on to this vertical as long as possible. And I know that was a detriment in the last couple of rounds, but in this site specific, it is just so important. So this does feel like it could start to be a team chosen potential victory here.
Man, unfortunate there for the defense as well. Just, you know what, they went for the standard hold upstairs on IT, run the K to try and block off that wall. The impact EMP comes out, completely cleared off. They get that wall open, and take a look at this. The Twitch downstairs again, just giving intel, clearing out defensive utility, and honestly, it felt like who was it holding downstairs? Kenny J just didn't catch it, maybe? Didn't hear the drone? Didn't see the Fenrir gone? He's definitely in a bad spot right now.
Looking towards that window, waiting for the sound key. Cam's giving nothing away just yet. They've done the first couple of steps, which is finding, checking off some of those boxes, but a tough one to go down.
Wow!
As the Nomad has gone. A quick shotgun isn't going to find anything as he siege timing his way right out of danger run.
Dude, so lucky that Thermite survived that shotgun barrage to the face, and that's unfortunate that Padip goes down. Man, put us in a 4v4, but tons of life lost on the BlackHole side. They're in a little bit more difficult place this time, holding on to this tertiary site, and boy, he's still got the shotgun in hand. C4 pulls it off, sees the shadow, gets that one. That is a huge play. Now 48 seconds left, but it just feels chaotic right now. No real strategy in place.
Man, yeah, and the C4 rings out, but nobody's there. The shotgun up top, not to receive anything. So out here just fighting ghosts or specters, if you will, but it's working. They get the down onto Na. Now puts him into a 3-2 situation. 30 seconds left, and the attack starts to panic here. They've got some good momentum, right? They've got some good movement. They've got some good placement, but they haven't disrupted this hold just yet. Low health on the side of Thermite now gets equalized into a 2-2 scenario. 12 seconds left. Pulse is down below. No C4, though, to be able to rip him off the board, so they're going to have to rely on the shotgun. They take one more down. It's a post-plant scenario, and Pulse is all the way in the bottom. Shotgun and a pistol to try to bring this one back running. This feels like a kind of a tall hill or a tall order.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like this is going to be a defensive win at this point. BlackHole, in what seemed like a round that they were down, that they were just waiting. Oh, okay, never mind. Can he pull this off? Toxic is low. He's got 17 seconds left. Which way is this going to go? He goes for it!
Oh,
no!
Man, a little bit of razzle-dazzle, but should have zigged when he zagged, my friend, as he gets ripped off the board, and the attacker's going to find one.
Dude, 3-0. What a quarter here for BlackHole Esports. Absolutely on fire, on their map pick, on attack, and very different from what we saw over on a defensive-sided Consulate. NightHaven has been a complete flip. Now, we talked about this. BlackHole's map pick, they won it 7-4 back in that grand final for Season 3. But man, they're on fire right now, and Team Chosen struggling with trying to find how do they want to manage around this, and it is time for a timeout. It's going to happen after the bans, so rather than take the timeout ahead of time to try and strategize on which op they wanted to ban, they're going to go ahead and take the timeout after, with the understanding that now they're going to have to try and get this done, change up the strategy with no clash, which doesn't feel like a bit of a miss for them, because Clash was pretty ineffective overall against this BlackHole attack.
I do love that we're going to talk about it, right? You saw all three sites go through, right? And that gave you a look at what they're bringing to each one. So now you take a timeout, you talk about how in the world are you going to defend it, and you get a chance to talk about all three very quickly. Minor adjustments that need to be made to get themselves a win. So now that it's over, they're going to take it back down to the basement, and they're going to run it back.
Well, I mean, I don't think that we're going to see the BlackHole attack, the style that they did back on Run, be successful this time, right? Team Chosen certainly expecting maybe more of that that super quick play. That felt like, one of those, you can use it once versus us. You can use that kind of strategy. I was talking with Surf at the NAL finals about how this is a style of gameplay that Oxygen likes. It's one of the reasons they don't like being casted is they like to use those one-off round sort of trick plays, right? That worked for BlackHole here. It's likely not going to work again. So they need to come up with a different kind of strategy and utilize the timeout on their side. Say, all right, we've seen basement, we've seen 2F, we've seen that control storage. Team Chosen didn't play any of the sites again. They followed the team rotate, so they know how this defense is going to operate. How do you adapt your attack? Try and, change up some of those gimmicky plays into something that can work the second time around.
Well, there's going to be some sort of similar. We do see Blackbeard back on the board, so they're going to be putting some pressure on somewhere. They're kind of lining up at that same sort of window, but a little bit of a distraction play here run is... they're just going to make a little bit of noise and rotate on around. I like this. I like this little skullduggery here.
I mean, the Shields made that play downstairs for the site direct, and all of the action that happened upstairs on 2F was the complete distraction, like you mentioned. But this time they are going full top down clear. This is not that site direct hoping to catch Team Chosen off guard. They're going to play down direct this time. And honestly, good strategy. Change this thing up, but they do need to clear out the full top down because Team Chosen is in play. Both Kenny and Easy upstairs on that 2F. Well, no longer Easy anymore as the opening pick goes to BlackHole, and that's a huge one there as Dokkaebi is able to steal the cams, give access to all of this intel, and it is early in the round they get to take advantage of it.
Yeah, no kidding. This is a game of intel and opportunity, and with Dokkaebi on the board, finding that first kill on Tourney. Yeah, they're going to have info for days now. Effectively cleared out a bunch of space, but they've still got 3 people sitting up top, so now Solus, unsussed out, is going to find the kill. They take the Dokkaebi off the board now into a 4-4, minute and 20, and Blackbeard going to start to take a peek downstairs, put some pressure on Paddock again.
Man, look at this. Man, Jinx, my friend, as we're in a 4-4 minute left. Toxic bringing out the Grim Bees in this case. Man, I thought he was going to nade himself. Nah, that would have been wild, my friend. Seeing this time the defense playing the vertical. It's the opposite play this time. Working on opening up the castle. I mean, Merlin had a great setup here, but they have got the EXO in play, and he is going to go for that plant right now. I can't believe BlackHole was able to get this down one more time.
Well, they did a great job of just holding on to that, or having the game sense of pushing some of those players just barely out of spot, right? Opening that window allowed them to get into that default plant zone, take the Solus off the board. So they're down in the numbers advantage, but they've still got the spearhead, and now it's all going to be up to him, though. The drop-down site is just going to be a hold and then start to diffuse, but he's going to go play the vertical here. They're starting to take it, not going to be able to facilitate it now. Well, Paddock, who was destroyed on the last one as they pushed into side, is the hero of this round. Able to take down that vertical pressure, and that's going to be Team Chosen finding their first on the defensive side. So the adjustment, the adaptation, well, finds themselves around because of it.
Honestly, it was close, though, right? BlackHole managed to get that diffuser down. Very objective-based gameplay across the board on their attacking half, and they pulled it off almost, right? I don't know whether or not the Blackbeard would have had better luck just trying to fight that fight direct downstairs or, try and hold on to the vertical angle with 2 or 3 defenders able to hold the vertical angles on you. A very loud operator just clanking around upstairs, giving away exact location. Even if they didn't have the cams in play, they're knowing where Blackbeard was at as that floor was open, and they just absolutely punished him for it. This was a much better play there from Team Chosen. At that time, it felt like even though BlackHole was in position to win it, just a couple of mistakes, and finally we see Team Chosen capitalize on those mistakes. That's something that they had really struggled to do so far in this match, and the scoreline certainly shows it. 3-1, but that is finally a defensive win for the first time here on NightHaven.
And I think we can say that double shotgun play there definitely had a factor in this round, right? Because they had the body balance, they took some space, and then effectively were in a good position to let the plant go down and then retake, and that's exactly what they did. Found themselves a win. Now they got to try to do it up top, right? And they're gonna kind of lean into a similar strat. No fancy gizmos and gadgets here, Run. Just straight up siege play on this one.
Holding long angles here, just waiting. Team Chosen took a couple shots outside, opened a couple windows, and feels like it put some of this external defensive pressure here on the BlackHole attack. Again, not something we saw an awful lot of for Consulate. There was not really, no spawn peaks, none of that early shots being taken across the board. And feels like this time Team Chosen opening up some of those walls and windows and giving pause to this BlackHole attack. Honestly, they've been going very quickly in the sights and the direct play. I like the fact that we're seeing Team Chosen play just slightly more aggressively and the effect it's had slowing down BlackHole's attack.
Yeah, it's the big first step. Meet that fire with fire. And Tubrow now doing a great job at just closing down that main floor breach, which is going to allow this player to remain onto the catwalk. First kill is going to be the Tubrow, and so unfortunately, that won't be the case any longer.
I thought maybe we were going to see a little bit of flank come in here, but right now, also, BlackHole just seems like they're doing a little bit better job with the drones. I'm wondering not we're going to see the mute come out to try and deny some of this, because it feels like they are just, identifying and using all of this intel like crazy, and what a crazy trade that was. He tosses the nade, loses his life as he shoots the cam, but the nade is in play, so rather than hold back, wait for the nade to go off, judges it's worth it to try and take down the attacker. And now in a 4v2 scenario, I feel like you'd want to rethink that strat.
Yeah, you got the Blackbeard off the board, but now it's a 4v2. Just a minute left as they start to make the push in towards this vertical play, and it's going to start to see Ellaby just being pushed out of sight. I'm going to find one. It's going to be a 1v3 that's necessary here for Team Chosen to bring this one back in.
Again!
Post-plant style. Just an incredible amount of protect the president here, Run.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to need some stats on what the BlackHole plant percentage is at that point, because I think that is 3 of 5, 4 of 5 at this point able to get the diffuser down. I mean, they're right now punishing Team Chosen with good objective-based gameplay. And even though we saw the clash in the ace go down in that first quarter, it feels like Blackbeard may have been a better choice for them to try and to take down rather than the ace, because they have not really needed the sight lines. They have not been, using the hard breach as really the entry point. They've just been, pushing through the windows and doors behind the Blackbeard and punishing Team Chosen with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think we don't know comms, right? We can't pretend to know what the strat is, but in our humble opinion, for sure, ace feels like a miss here. Now, they do pick off of the Blackbeard, right? Going to show something a little bit different here for this Turf site, the last round of the half. And instead, see the Nook being brought back out. And we saw that have some huge impact on map number 1, right? New gun in hand, able to play in that lurk role and sit underneath the cams without being detected, waiting for that rotate, just a strong cut to be had. So is it going to be the difference maker? I guess we're going to find out together.
As we get into this first 10 seconds gone, still opening up the verticals here. So Team Chosen, again, overall, they have definitely played a pretty roam-heavy game. It doesn't matter which site they're playing. They're not really, sticking close to site. They're not really waiting for all of these direct takes that BlackHole has been playing. And they're, like we said, exploiting the Team Chosen defense at this point and really making it work for them. I feel like this is one of those that you're going to look back and make some adjustments between this team and potentially just good adaptation. Again, this was a map that we saw from the Season 3 Grand Finals, which was a BlackHole victory. They learned some things from watching Team Chosen on this map, and they have adapted very well. This is a great play here for a T4 team.
Able to get that wall opened up. Now some pressure can be had onto the defense, and it's going to be a quick run out. No, none the wiser, though. Nobody hurt, no damage done. And just putting that pressure and fueling the fire of we are going to be aggressive. We are going to try to run out. We are going to try to catch us slacking and sleeping. And they need this. Team Chosen needs this 4-2 standard on the split. Or they're going to find themselves with a way too tough of a hill to climb on the other side of the half.
Yeah, Kenny not using his gadget in that scenario. He's looking for the 3 angles he's trying to hold. Left side of the window, right side of the window, and the IT push in, but was just taking shots as the attackers try to push up to the window rather than using his gadget and knowing where they're playing. Now, he survived just barely on just a 10 HP left. Easy Killing's going to go down, though, so Kenny J is in a tough spot. He's going to find one, though. Crazy!
Absolutely falls apart. Now the aforementioned Pulse is the last alive. Pistol in hand, but it's not going to lead to much. BlackHole is going to take that one, and it's going to see us onto a 5-1 half. Especially having seen this map already, you know what they're bringing to the table, unless this is a completely different BlackHole esports strat than what we saw, you know, in the finals. Yeah, I mean, there's prep for this. Tough on a 5-1 start.
I get the sense that BlackHole read into the Team Chosen defense and played that better. That feels like good prep from this BlackHole team going into this match. It is their map pick, right? We expected them to be good on attack. 5-1 certainly exceeded the quota and felt like they had an answer for everything that Team Chosen was trying to pull off. So that feels like good prep. Now, the reverse could be true. Do they have the defensive strats in play that are different than what they played in that final? Because it's going to give Team Chosen the opportunity to try and adapt on their attacking side. On an attacker-sided NightHaven, anything can happen. They're not going to have to try and do it without the aid of the Thermite and the Ying this time around, as it's a little bit of balance between the hard breach op and that attacker util. You know, cheese op side. Ying goes down one more time. Make it a little bit easier. They're going to get rid of the Mira and the Fenrir. So those, I think, sort of, again, feels like a sort of the fundamental hold. It does leave the Azami on the board there for BlackHole defense. And we know she's going to be posted up top of that warehouse side.
Yeah, this is a tough call on who to get off. Who do you not want to defend against? Azami, Mir, and Fenrir being those just devilish trio up top. So, gotta deal with one of them. Azami's gonna be the play here. Well, I like the Thermite. I like that it's quickly replaced the Ace as the go-to ban now that he can open up so much by himself. Ying feels like a pretty good pick because of that Agent of Chaos quality that those Candelas can do, especially when you know they're going to be bringing that clash to the board, which is exactly what they did for round 1 on the back end of the half here. Thatcher, though, going to be able to see some of that new gadget play.
Yeah, kind of crazy. We saw the Thatcher ban. That certainly does not happen, or I have not seen that happen very often. So that was definitely interesting to see it on the first half of this map. So, but the Team Chosen is going to have him available to back up. Now again, Merlin on the shield once again. No surprise there. Working on clearing out downstairs. But BlackHole is certainly playing a significantly more bunkered strat, if you want to call it that, close to site. Everybody upstairs on that second floor. No spread out players, so they're playing a very different style of gameplay. Team Chosen needs to read into that, move quickly, and how about stay alive and not be that first pick to go down. Tragic there. It is answered back finally, though, puts us in a 4v4, but man, you lose the flank watch control there, so you're gonna have to get it done without the Nomad.
Yeah, well, it's a big first step to take Tactics off the board. He's 12-3 run. He's got that 4.0 KD. If we're talking win cons, that definitely feels like part of it, right? Get Mr. Highlight off the board. And so they equalize, but which one's the better kill? Who has the chance now? I feel like this starts to favor Team Chosen if they can figure out a way to deal with this clash.
Yeah, it feels like we're moving slow again. Minute 14 at this point. You still have got 4 left alive. The IT wall absolutely locked down. Combination of the bandit tricking. He's going to go for it here. The two-brow freezes it, closes it. He's going to have to time this thing absolutely perfectly. Feels like the attacker's going to get this wall open, but at what cost? Well, a shitload of time just burned as he's trying to find a way to make this work. And the Clash also holding on to these stairs. It's a shield v shield battle, and Clash is just winning this right now.
They do find another one, though, as the MP7's going to ring out and claim a dome piece. Now into a 4-3 as the defense takes the advantage. They find themselves up by 1, and on the precipice of a match point scenario. If you're a BlackHole esports fan, you're starting to feel pretty good about these last couple of rounds. They've just got to hold on for 29 seconds. Clash still in play. You can hear that gadget ringing out. Gonna have to use this Thatcher to potentially shut down some of that, but it's just not going to happen. They're going to just keep trying to push in, and then meeting an absolute brick wall. Toxic
Holy
takes
cow.
one. Toxic good for 2 as BlackHole just comes alive on NightHaven.
Boy, this is their map, and honestly, they have carried a tremendous amount of momentum into this. The only time we saw Team Chosen show any signs of life was the round immediately after the timeout. Timeout buff in effect. They managed to find a win on round 4, but since then and before then, it has been all BlackHole. 6-1 match point scenario map 2. Somebody read the script earlier and said we are definitely going to map 3. I want to see it. You're about to get it. Clubhouse is going to be on the board unless Team Chosen could be perfect for 5 in a row, which, based on the way we've seen this thing play out, right? This has not been the kind of series you'd see a reverse sweep on, because Team Chosen right now just struggling. Whatever prep went into this on the BlackHole side is freaking working, and Team Chosen struggling. They need to adapt, my friend, and man, it does not feel like the shield is the way to do it. It felt a little bit uncoordinated. They had the opportunity to play the fundamentals of Siege, and it just was not working. BlackHole just better right now.
5 seconds to insertion.
15 total kills on the side of Team Chosen. Seems like that's probably where we need to have that first big effort, right? Is winning some of those individual gunfights, because on NightHaven, BlackHole just seems to be doing that one better. On the defense, we're going to see the Sentry come aboard. It's a little bit of that gadgetry play, a BP to be had for some intel, and a little bit of slowdown, right? With Malusi, Goyo, and Azami on the board, they're going to try to hold some of this top floor space for as long as possible. Currently, nobody from the defense down in the basement.
That's wild. That is wild. The way that we've seen this map play out, it's like they're trying to do like a site swap or something. I mean, strat roulette. Yeah, you're up 6-1. You can afford to take some chances, but it's a different changeup in the way we've seen BlackHole play so far. They were not playing that super roam heavy game, but honestly, it feels like they can do anything at this point to catch Team Chosen off guard and still find a way to win rounds. Is it strat roulette? Are we going to see the win there? Kind of crazy, my friend.
Well, first kill goes down, almost finds it onto Azami as well. Now looking for some stronghold play. Blitz is going to swing out. Merlin's going to take him off the board. Now puts us into a 5-2, and that's going to send the defense running back towards the basement, right? Get some folks back down into sight now because you lost.
Retreat!
Yes, exactly. Don't hold the line. Get back to sight. They are coming.
Look at this, a little bit of flank coming out from Tadix here. I mean, I was going to say a little bit crazy play. Dodges a literal bullet from Toxic, holding on to the window. So even though they looked like they were going to make the rotate back down to the basement, they've still held on to these first floor positions. And no way Kenny goes down. A 3-3?
And it's working! Easy's able to find one, and that's the huge pick. Top frag off the board, which means Buck's gonna get to work and try to suss out where the heck these last two are at. They claim that man advantage. Team Chosen still in a potentially good spot to find themselves a victory, and they've got a direct access to site with the hatches being opened up. They do have diffuser in hand. The vertical can stop most of the areas of plant here, so you're still going to have to deal with Toxic, who's only seen death one time thus far.
What is going on?
Pad up. What a huge play. SMG-12 not able to find the double, though. Now into a 1v3. 1v2 technically. Vector's going to ring out. It's not going to claim one just yet, but now both into a low health scenarios. They're still just holding on to it. 17 seconds is going to allow him to rotate. I was going to say rotate back down to site, but they're not even going to have it. He's going to make the hatch drop, just assuming that that was the case, and now he has the vertical. If he's able to stop it, and he does, he stopped him from going down. Team Chosen able to pick it back up, trying to send it again. They've got eyes. They've got it. Can he solve this? Can he pull it back? And defenders are going to do it.
Are you freaking kidding me right now?
I don't joke about defender time ever run. Jesus Christ, I can't believe they pulled that off. Sheesh.
7-1 victory for BlackHole in what is one of the more dominating map performances we've seen recently. I mean, sometimes we see it in the T4 scene, in the T1 scene, when you have a little bit of a crazy play and a very lopsided matchup. You're seeing Envy take on a brand new T4 stack. Yeah, it's going to go one-sided, might go 7-0, but we expected in a pair of teams that went all 5 maps in a best-of-5 grand final to be pretty evenly matched, right? That was it felt like a huge miss from the Team Chosen side. BlackHole was on fire and appeared to certainly have read into, prepared at least a little bit from the stats perspective there to win, right? Semi-final game. They want the grand final reappearance spot. We're not going to get both of them in the final here in the AGL Christmas tourney. Only one can make it to that grand final spot. And right now, I mean, that was a ton of momentum on the BlackHole side.
Yeah, no kidding. Just an absolute master class of NightHaven play by BlackHole Esports. You called them the Alchemists in the chat earlier. They are absolutely cooking right now. And with that momentum in their favor, right, going into Clubhouse, which has so much similar nature. Ooh, I don't know. If I'm Team Chosen, if I'm a Team Chosen fan, I'm starting to cross my fingers. I'm just starting to get out my good luck charms because it looks like BlackHole Esports is ready for map number 3. We're going to bring that right to you when we come back. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. Map 2 is over and done, and run, it was a stark difference to our Consulate map number 1 here.
What a wild change in BlackHole, man. They absolutely came alive on map 2. They lost map 1 to 7-4 to Team Chosen, but man, honestly, huge change up. They answered back in a big way on NightHaven. Now, it's the decider, and it's anybody's game as we go into map 3. It's down to a best of 1. Clubhouse is here.
That's right, Clubhouse, where good teams go to die. It is the textbook map, default to a fault, where you can hold on to your just standard strats, and they're standard for a reason, run. And see who's going to play out here, right? Some of this stuff that you were seeing on NightHaven out of BlackHole can work on Clubhouse, right? That direct take into sight if you know, Team Chosen on defense was playing up and around. Some of that stuff will work, but it's a little bit more condensed. It's a little bit smaller. So reaction time for some of those all the way up to the second floor defense is going to be a little bit quicker here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Can they play, you know, this very site direct style? Are we going to see Team Chosen maybe put a little bit more pressure on the defense as you know, from the early ons in these rounds? Are they going to hang back? Will we see some more of the spawn peaks and crazy defensive pressure being played? Right, it's sort of saw a lack of it overall, and BlackHole's carrying a lot of significant momentum into this one. So again, what's at stake, my friends? AGL Christmas Tourney semifinal game. Winner goes to the final. Loser gets sent home packing. They have to fight it out another day. It's a T4 League showcase here on the Siege Doubleshot. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the gifted Kabayito. Appreciate you and the rest of the community being here for the stream tonight. I mean, trying to bump up a little bit Rainbow Six Siege viewership here on a Friday night.
That's right. What are you doing? It's any given Friday at this point. All right, defense. They're going to take it down to the basement run. We're seeing Castle back on the board, so the extension up top going to be in play here. This is one of my favorites. Okay, BlackHole going to go for that, what do we call it, the clubhouse sandwich play, right? You got people up on the second floor playing spoiler. You've got the Castle holding down onto the first to make sure you can't claim that vertical. And you've got your one lone member down in sight. And in this case, it's going to be Trinsic on the smoke, playing that denial. So a really aggro attack. You could see them get in and take some spit. Oh. It's not going to see anything run. They're going to hold on to the top floor as they try to get in. Kenny J just absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, that seemed like a lack of intel there from the team chosen attack, right? You had the shield. Merlin is here, ready to try and help this push upstairs on the second floor, but no, Kenny goes for it, initially jumping in, fried for it, and I don't know whether or not they had the intel in play, but man, this is just right now, BlackHole on fire, playing very spread out, not going for the bunker strat, and then punished for it. You can see all of the outlines, but I mean, all of this action happening upstairs on the second floor. No way he survives this. Are you kidding me?
What is going on? Nas able to take one, but it's all trades up on the top floor here, Run. So now, when the dust settles, when everything is said and done, we find ourselves in a 3-2. BlackHole up by 1. The attack team starting to get active. Now they're going to start working on getting this access into site opened up.
I mean, some of that work done upstairs, all of that crazy action happening, and now finally all bunkered back down. But I mean, the fact that you still have got the Azami in play, you still have got 3 smoke canisters, and you only have 55 seconds. Feels like a lot of time, but with all the defensive utility still in play, the smoke canister is going to burn a tremendous amount of time here. So, and right now, the defense holding on to the power positions and not ego swinging. We have seen them throw around in favor of Chosen. So, can you hold back? I mean, just play this a little bit more conservatively. Team Chosen hit a few of those shots, and there's that first smoke out.
Oh, gets the down onto the smoke, though, and that's a huge first play, but goes down without having any guns and bullets in the gun. So, yeah, huge mistake. Easy Killing's going to find 1, though, in response. Smoke is still down, so the 1v1. Now, it's going to be Easy Killing on pace for the 4K. Going to try to take a swing, but they're just going to be backing off slowly. You got to be a little bit quicker. He's going to get around the corner, and not much you're going to be able to do. So, going for the plant instead. Going to take it to half. I think he's going to be able to stick this thing. They've got eyes on. He's going to have to get up and shoot. What? He didn't stick it.
I mean, he may have won the battle if he had stuck that, but you're 100% of the time going to lose it if you don't. I mean, there's no point in saving the comp KD at this point.
Oh, there it is. The bar was full, I promise. Yeah, well, there it is. Okay, so he thought he did stick it. That's the problem. Okay, that makes more sense, right? A little bit of a visual glitch. He thought he was having to save the round, but instead, it's a smile upside down. We frowned on that.
That is the greatest
moment
in my life.
Oh,
bro.
hey, Deadshot, appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the tier 1, my friend. Much appreciated for joining. Oh no, hey Castle, nice skin. Well, we'll see how that works out, but man, BlackHole just continuing the streak at this point. That is, we'll call it 5 rounds in a row after the previous 4 in a row from the previous map. So BlackHole continues on this streak. The Chosen has really struggled to try and deal with. So all that action happening upstairs felt like they were pushing with a little bit of lack of intel, translated into that BlackHole victory at the end. And even though it was very close to getting that plant down, it was a too little, too late scenario. And yeah, he managed to take down the smoke. If that area denial had been in play, for sure a BlackHole win. They got close, but close does not count here in Rainbow Six Siege. So what are they going to change up? Well, right now at this point, running Jeez, I did it again. The shield player, the blitz in play. It feels like a bit of a mistake to continue running the shields. It is just not working for Team Chosen right now. It feels like the way that they like to play the game, but BlackHole's got an answer for that over and over and over again.
I love this Thatcher gadget and how it works now, hitting all of that stuff from the roof. Could see some potential movement. Oh, well, you run, you
Speaking of
die.
movement,
Gaddix is going to pay the price on that one. Mute goes down, and that's a C4 done and dusted, which means we do see us in a 5-4 scenario. Team Chosen in their best position to claim around on Clubhouse so far.
Wow, look at that. What a play here from Na. I mean, he's holding down the top of the rafters, and we're over on the gym bedroom site, but it's a very huge garage hold at this point, locked down, using the Kiba barriers in play, and dodged a literal bullet as he makes the play downstairs and then rotates through Boyle. Honestly, I'm surprised he survived that engagement at all, but it was perfectly played on the defensive side, wasting a ton of time at this point. Right now, though, Team Chosen up 5-3. Na is low on health. This is their best opportunity to find a round win. Play this one strategically, my friends, and they have got it because Na is badly positioned, looking for that flank, but Ty was there. Shut him down. 5v2 as Team Chosen looks like they're going to pick up a round, my friend.
Yeah, but they've got just 60 to get it done as well, right? So if they're able to start finding some kills here, could see something taken care of. C4 is there. It's not going to do any damage, however. Plant's going down, and that's all they're going to need. Merlin on the shield. You said, why did he run it? Well, there it is. Push in, take space, punch him straight in the face.
All right, Mira wasn't paying any attention at all, though. I mean, she's fighting the fight in the gym. It could have been anybody that made that push around, but you're right. The shield, whether or not it was the difference maker in that round, it got close at the end, and ultimately Team Chosen finds that round victory finally. And you take a look at the score line here, it looks close, but man, if you missed that map too, what a wild one. NightHaven Labs, BlackHole goes 7-1 to win it, winning 5-6 rounds in a row if you count the first round here. So huge momentum stopping victory there for Team Chosen to pick up a round. It's like, all right, we can win a round versus this team. Good job, guys. And it's on attack, on Clubhouse, on, really honestly, you could call it the primary or secondary bomb site at this point. So that's a fantastic play here for this team. And BlackHole, time to answer back. As we see the other second floor site, we're going to see Cash CC.
Yeah, rejoice, Team Chosen. You've got the same amount of rounds that you got in the entirety of the last map. It's only up from here at this point. So,
damn,
what are you
harsh.
gonna do to combat
Just
some?
burn.
I mean, it's just the truth, though, right? NightHaven was such a slammer, so to be able to see Team Chosen answer back and claim around means that the mental isn't shook. It isn't shot, right? They're able to know, you know what? Yeah, we got slammed on the last one. It's a GG's. Go next. What does next look like for BlackHole? It's going to be Intel. It's going to be Mira still on the board. Echo yokai drones are going to be out. And then holding on to some of that, dare I say, probably some vertical, probably protecting some of those Miras because they've got the Tuberal and the Cade still on board. Use part of that onto the breach. Now that pocket mirror is going to go up, looking towards construction, and maybe a little bit of intel not specifically known here by the attacking team since it went up a little late.
Yeah, I mean, that just felt like a little bit chaotic there from the defense, like late round setup. I mean, opening up the main Miro wall breach, but the Echo drone sort of just going out, getting in position, taken down by the attackers before they really get to be of any use at this point. So it felt like it was a little bit uncoordinated. Team Chosen can certainly take advantage of it this time. Yeah, and you take a look at it using the Thatcher to identify gadgets. We were seeing that happen sort of like the IQ. I wondered whether or not we would, we would see Thatcher sort of being used in that dual role. And he was. We picked up where that Echo drone was, pinging it out without actually using the gadget.
Smart play. Allow the Twitch to get in and start to try to take some of those off the board. Blackbeard is positioned in construction, ready to get that 3-2-1 full send. Next spot here, they're going to be trying to open up that construction single. They got themselves an avenue into sight that doesn't necessarily have to go through the warehouse.
Question is whether or not they're going to be able to move fast enough. But look at that, the ranged Heartbreach is going to be able to open up this mirror window, give him a little bit of access to red. And look at that, Two-Brow, oh, unsuspecting, and got this wall up, and well played there by Padip on the ace. That's been his main across the board, and right now working for this team, baiting out the C4. They have got all the sightlines, the fundamental siege in play. Easy kill and takes down Trinsic, and another great opportunity here for the attackers.
Now in a desperate situation, plant starting to go down, pressure from the window, pressure from the red stair, pressure from everywhere. Team Chosen, they're going to be good for 2 in a row as they were just taking incredible amounts of space on this one.
All right, that was a much better round there played by Team Chosen on that tertiary site. I mean, playing the fundamentals of Siege, catching BlackHole off guard a little bit on that defensive setup at the beginning, using a combination of the operators, especially the new Thatcher, sort of in combo with the IQ. Honestly, like the way that we saw that thing played out, using the Twitch to clear out gadgets. That was the kind of attacking round we saw from Team Chosen on Consulate back on what feels like hours ago, because it was 7-4 victory versus BlackHole on Consulate. That was the team that we're seeing them show up here on Clubhouse. And now it's a question of which team is going to continue forward as we finished out the first quarter and get a chance to see the bans. And this one I'm not surprised about. BlackHole getting rid of the ace.
Attackers need
That's
to
a great
locate
call.
and defuse as many bombs as they can.
And Castle on the other side of it. And if you're looking at these defensive bans, it kind of make you leave a question mark, but they're effective, right? Well, obviously, we saw a great use of the Clash on the previous 2 maps. You want to stop some of that intense breach denial that only Bandit can bring to the table. And then the big one, the extension maker, right? Castle gonna get taken down, which means you're gonna have a little bit more ease of access to get into gym bedroom. You don't have to deal with that extension upstairs when you're down into the basement, which means you're gonna have a little bit better idea of exactly where those defenders are gonna be sitting at.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talked about early on, is it felt like Team Chosen was sort of advancing without all of that extra intel in play. So understanding where that at is certainly going to make that easier. You said it. I think that is a great call to give them some of that extra intel.
On the side of the defense, even though we are in the basement, you're going to see a similar approach. Sends the Castle 2 up on the top floor, 2 presence on the first, and then that solo player down in basement. And to stop that quick rush, he's actually playing inside the dirt area, which is, of course, that where that quick plant can generally start to come from. Now Blitz making his way up top as they're going to combo move, try to put some pressure onto these top 4 players. You got to be careful, though. One of them's got a Boss G in hands, and that can be devastating on a potential shield rush.
Yeah, we saw the Boss G be successful from Na in one of the previous rounds. He's going to take that fight upstairs, and look at this. Blitz goes for it, hits one, yes, and is going to win that battle. Na goes down. He's going to get a C4 to the face, though, that just barely misses. Buck is down, so it leads us to 4v3 unless he is recoverable, and the defense is pinging him. They know that the Buck is down at this point. Look at this, though. Missed upstairs. Man, I can't believe he survived that. Oh, he downed him. Good. I was going to say,
he downed
him.
And then another to fall, and this starts to become a little bit more dangerous. Now they're able to get one of them back up, and it's the Blitz, so the Spearhead is back, but still got some idea that he's there. They're going to take the shot across. That's going to be Buck down in a couple of low health scenarios on the other side of it, so it's a 3v2, but the health scenario, the health situation, definitely now sitting into the hands of BlackHole Esports.
All right, we're just having sort of a run and gun session here. This doesn't feel like the strategic siege we saw back on round 3 that really made Team Chosen successful. I mean, we're running around, we're catching open shots. All that chaos on the second floor didn't feel very coordinated, honestly, on either side of the map. So BlackHole feels like they're in a bit of a good position at this point. 2 players downstairs in the basement. Easy sitting at 5-0 at this point, so he's just got a little bit of life, just a tad, so that's going to make the smokes very effective. Trinsic has only got 1, though, with 30 seconds left.
All right, and that smoke could spells. Disaster as they make their way down Moto. 24 seconds as it starts to count down, and they're kind of locked in. And so instead, it's going to be open up onto the triple wall. A little church play to see if they can't get in and start to get a plant going. Shots from behind, though, as now Blitz is going to go down in a 1v2. Just nothing you can do. A shotgun, and you only got a sliver of health. Defense is going to find that one.
Yeah, in this this crazy chaos, and during that basically that entire round, just felt a little bit chaotic, not very strategic across the board, and BlackHole takes advantage of it. Right, the defense, the power position in that place, the downstairs still fully reinforced off. We're seeing the can openers go with 30 seconds left. When you get yourselves into that kind of a position, it's going to be very difficult to make the push in, and BlackHole punished them for it. So Team Chosen, had a good couple moments upstairs. They win the shield battle versus Vigil in the bedroom. Ultimately, though, not enough to pick up a round win. So we're going to see Gym Bedroom, and we saw this back on round 2, which was a Team Chosen victory. So which team is going to, lock in at this point? That was, we said it a couple times, but just chaotic. It's time to lock in. Which one's going to pull it off, my friend?
It's interesting, right? Team Chosen just looking so different on Clubhouse than they did on NightHaven. So, yeah, maybe Team Chosen just not a NightHaven enjoyer, right, as a collective team. So it needs to be part of that ban process for the next one, because they're looking much better here on Clubhouse. Now, this defense that you brought up here to try to gain that scoreline advantage, this is a tough one. You've got some absolute slowdowns. Mira's still left on the board, which feels a little questionable, run, especially when you've got something to back it up like you. And then you got the Fenrir to slow them down. Then you've got the Goyo of the area denial. This is a dig-in defense. It's going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah, taking a look at the map bans, what did Team Chosen ban at the start of this thing as the alternative? And interesting, just showing the mirror window getting cleared out there by the Hibana directly in the middle. We're getting to see the new Hibana gadget with the updates, able to just shoot that and reload. But from the ban perspective, they banned out Border there to start, and then they banned out a layer, right? So they didn't want to play Border, which is, I think there are some teams that very much hate to play that map overall. And you know what? Get rid of that to start. So if you wanted to play NightHaven or Lair, felt a little bit better on NightHaven, and clearly they're gonna have to rethink that map strategy back in the next round.
First kill goes out. Hard Breach is off the board. Now gonna have to rely on can openers, which actually have already been done and dusted. They've been dealt with. So nothing else going to be opened up besides what they've already got done and dealt with. Defense claims that body balance, still plenty of time in which to work, and feels like they've got an isolation here at the top of red, but nobody going to make that quick sound cue. There's the swing. Vector's going to take that one as easy killing is easily killed.
Oh, nice flash there coming out, and this is one of the first times we've seen Merlin not on a shield. At this point, he finds one with the Twitch. And we're getting down to that last minute of gameplay, and in a 4v3 scenario, much better here for BlackHole. They won round 4 in the basement, looking to continue this momentum, pick up the lead in this tie game. 45 seconds left. Which one is going to go, my friend?
Man advantage sitting in the hands of BlackHole Esports. Now 35 seconds in which to act. Looking for anybody to make a peek here and equalize on the number balance. Twitch drone going to get in as they're going to take another extra look. Keep the barrier, start to feel some of that pressure from the windows. The zombie does go down. That's going to be the numbers equalized, and that's what Team Chosen was looking for here. Now, one to get themselves in and one to plant is the plan. They've got a low health on the side of Mute as well to get it done. A couple of flash towards bathroom, but a Vector's going to ring and take Merlin off the board. Now into a 3-2 scenario, 4 seconds left. Swinging on the Northern, but he can't find him. Not going to be able to get it done. Sheesh. Oh.
And that is an excellent, perfect timing, my friend. We get to see Observer crash. Yes, Observer crash, unfortunately in play. But So it'll be a hopefully quick break. The game is paused. We're not going to miss any of the action, but the BlackHole esports team, I think, well, honestly, we were tied up. Don't even know who won that round. We're going to have to ask. I'm going to type it in chat in a second. Crazy, 4 seconds left. So, yeah, we're going to take a quick break. Work on getting that game back in. Okay. Thanks, Proud. Appreciate you, unnamed. BlackHole picks it up 3-2 as we go into the break.
That's right. Sit back, relax. When we come back, it's going to be the stunning conclusion of the third and final map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back. Rehost done data. Man, we thought that bug was fixed, but apparently Thatcher bug's still a thing. Dang.
Yeah, you know.
Last round of the half here run.
It's one of those things. I mean, we expected it to be done, expected it to be fixed, but honestly, it's one of those that it could go either way. And yeah, unfortunate that we got to see it. So the viewers, appreciate you that stuck around to see the end. We're in a best of 3, down to a best of 1. It's the final map to decide who's going to the finals here in the AGL Christmas tournament. BlackHole is up 3-2 and honestly looking like the better team over most of this best of 3. Team Chosen has had a few moments of brilliance, but struggled overall, it feels like. They've been able to catch just a few. Now the question is, long pause in play. Who's going to be the team that takes advantage of that? Feels like BlackHole's been on a roll. Can Chosen, on the attack, on Clubhouse, make this work? Got the ace no more. They're going to have to use the Hibana pellets, but look at that. Open up that gadget in play. That main wall is open. You've got a pair of players over here on the warehouse side. I like using the Azami and that Jaeger to hold this down. And take a look at that. The keep on the outside of it. Not bad.
So they find themselves in a little bit of a lockdown position. Monty is, of course, trying to make his way to the catwalk, but they're double duty on the defense up here. So going to be a tough point to try to push in, and they're guarded by those ADSs. So nades or whatever you're going to try to use to flash them out of there, those capital bolts, going to be a little bit more difficult, except for got Thatcher on. Doesn't quite hit all of them. That's going to be some of the fire is going to push him out to that very edge of the realm, but he's still safe. He's still secured. That's going to be the first taken off the board. Zombie goes down now. Monty has made his way all the way up as they're trying to take the pressure onto the door. Looking for a second here. Vector's going to ring out and take Ty off the board. Answered back yet again as Toxic goes down now into a 4v3 as they start to make their way towards site. A quick swing onto the breach. It's Double's going to ring out as a Vector and Trinsic both able to find one. 3-2 now as there's 1:20 left on the board. An easy killing on a very low health scenario.
Honestly, not bad here. They managed to clear out the top of the warehouse. We've got the Monty up in play, and Merlin is holding on to that diffuser. They know they've got a player downstairs on the lounge swamp side that they have to be watching out for. That's now holding on with the Mira. So looking, going to play from down below, taking some shots to open up that floor below the main breach. But the C4 is not in play, and oh no, look at that. I was going to say the smoke didn't cover the default plant, but he's not in a position to try and manage that with now holding it down below. Look at this. They're going to have to try and push, take a couple shots here, but 33 seconds left. Who's going to win this battle? 3v2, my friend?
Now shield goes lowered as the smoke rings out. That's going to do a little bit of damage onto Merlin, who's now got himself into that default plant position. But they've got somebody still playing in that lurk role below, as it's going to be the Mira. So not even going to be able to get yourself in a good position to get that plant. 11 seconds now as they start to put the pressure on Red. Smoke's going to ring out from that environmental ingredient. Now it's going to be a shotgun in hand. Easy killing takes Tactics off the board. Now into a 2-2.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Down. Pushing up onto it, and look at that. Now they found the down. Now it's into a 1v1, and it's a post-plant scenario with a fully shielded Monty. Huge play run, as he's not going to be able to pick up the homie, and now the world's deadliest game of cat and mouse shall start to ring out. Could have locked himself into the doorway there, but not gotten into any safety positions just yet. Goes for a bit of the shenanigans with a boarded up door. Is going to finish the kill and start to go for the defuse, but Monty's still making his presence known. Just not going to be in a position to get this one done. You're going to have to force the gunfight, and not in a position to do so. Attack's going to win this one based on time alone.
Wow. I feel like I, talked a little bit of smack about Merlin and Monty previously, or Merlin and the Shield. Was he, playing the right style? Was it right to be continuing to stick the Shield round after round? Well, it worked out in their favor there at the end of round 6 to close out the half. Post rehost, we had to wait a long time for it. Ultimately, though, upstairs on the catwalk, Monty wins that battle. In a 3v2 scenario, when the vertical was covered from down below by the Mira, I thought that this was going to be a BlackHole defensive win. So great job there from Team Chosen to be able to shut that thing down and pull up a attacking win when they needed to get it close 3-3. Boy, they have answered back when they needed to.
That was just a good play, right? They had the numbers advantage, but once they were able to get in and find a post plant with a fully shielded Monty, well, good night, sleep tight. We find ourselves tied up 3-3 now. Run on the last map. Are we going to finally see some overtime?
It doesn't feel like it, right? We haven't seen either team really continue keep that dominance going, the back and forth. It feels like just running out of steam at this point. It might go back and forth, but no overtime on any of the games in that previous grand final. None here tonight. It feels like once one team starts to get a little bit of a mental edge, they're able to carry that through to the end. So that'll be the question. It's best of 3. It's not a long night of Siege. It's a long night of Siege tonight, potentially for someone, because the APL, Asia Pacific League, OCE, geez, there's too many acronyms here, my friend. Last chance qualifiers for the 6th Invitational. I'm going to skip all the acronyms. Going on tonight, right now. But in this game, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it's a fatigue at this point. Right now, they just feel, just evenly matched, maybe. Look at this, trying to find the drone. Where's it at? Hiding. There it is.
Still trying to hold on to this top floor area. They've got some good presence as well, so gonna be able to get back down. But honestly, the Mozzie still being alive up here with P10 Ronnie in hand feels like a big win for the defense, especially because the power of friendship is in play. And Run, you were saying it's the LCQ for APL. FYI, if you win, you get some KFC. There we go. Did it. You're welcome.
Freaking W, man. Well played. There's a reason that Glitter is the play-by-play. He has got that on lockdown. Now, you take a look at, speaking of lockdown, what's Team Chosen doing? Very similar to the way they've run their defense across the board throughout this entire best of 3. Spread out the defense, holding on to the second floor. It's a basement bomb site, but all the action again happening upstairs to start this thing out on the second floor. Man, it just speaks volume to the way that they want to try to manage this. Now, BlackHole did a great job of trying to work this from the attacking side on NightHaven and just made it work, but a missed nade. Tragic play by Tadix. That is unfortunate. He goes for the shot, goes for the nade, misses it, and then loses the jump out again upstairs on that second floor. Chosen right now, just a little bit more locked in.
Especially now they do finally get the kill on board here, right? They take the Mozzie off. Does that number to getting equalized here by the attack, but as the time starts to count down, it starts to feel a little bit more pressure here for this defense. Or I mean this attack team.
Yeah, tons of pressure here on this team. Who wants to try to pull it off? What's the way we want to try and run this? I mean, they've got to figure out an attack setup at this point, though, because they're moving slowly. We see the Moto hatch drop finally now, and TI's holding on to Church. Just fried this team. It looked like even though they had the shield in hand, it just pushes in, loses that battle, and the final kill from Merlin happening on the first floor. Man, this has been just a complete switch in the way that BlackHole was playing attack versus NightHaven. They fell apart to a Team Chosen defense that picked them apart. All right. Might be solo for a sec. Glitter was trying to, maybe having some siege or some issues on the mic as
Attackers
well.
need to
Wouldn't
locate
be
and defuse
surprised
as
about
many
it
bombs as they
considering
can.
it's live siege, live problems. We already pulled off the rehost, so that part's done. Now it's on to our turn. Speaking of turns, Team Chosen upstairs on that second floor, gonna play the upstairs bomb site. Are they gonna rotate all the way down to the basement? How big of a roam game are they gonna play? All right. Yeah, we're gonna be solo for a sec. That's all right. Pull this off. If you're just joining us again, welcome in everyone to the AGL Christmas Tournament. BlackHole taking on Team Chosen, the rematch from the Season 3 Grand Finals. It's been one of those games so far that, the first one on console was a 7-4 victory for Team Chosen. It felt fairly evenly matched, but definitely a Team Chosen victory. They were just better overall. They won the small battles. They won in the places they needed to, taking advantage of the BlackHole mistakes, and honestly looked significantly better across the board. NightHaven, though, was the complete opposite story. Team Chosen looked completely outmatched, outclassed, outgunned, and just out-strategized across the board. 7-1 victory for BlackHole as they dominated map 2 of this best of 3, which takes us to Clubhouse. Now, we had an extended tech pause there in the middle, the Thatcher bug just causing some problems. And as we've gotten back into it, it's been, Team Chosen picking up a little bit of steam. It was 3-2 going into the break. It's now 3-4 as Team Chosen have picked up both of the 2 rounds post-break at this point. So, feels like they're on a bit of a roll. BlackHole, what are you going to do to answer back? They're going to try and run the shield. They changed it up with a little bit of extra attacker utility with both the Grim and the Capitao this time. But the one that I really love, running the Deimos. One of the things that Team Chosen did not like to have to play against on their defense was the Deimos. But they chose to get rid of the Monty and the Thermite instead and make more of the direct play a little bit more difficult, and choosing to accept playing with the Deimos instead. Good intel here from the Chosen. Easy kill, and gonna swap out, and then we got droned out in Logi. Go ahead and make the flip, cover that, invite the team in, but Dip gonna lose that battle as he goes down, and now into a 4v3 with Toxic still down at this point. He's out on the highway, though. I think they're gonna be able to pick him up. They may not need to, though, as they're gaining a ton of space over here. It's really just the Valkyrie stuck in the bathroom just as I say her name. She is gone. Now into 4v2, 5v2 as he is recovered. Trent is going to find one and put Merlin into a 1v5. Man, after picking up the Grim on the other side, it is a flawless round for this team. Well played on their part. Man, what an answer back.
No kidding. What did I miss? A flawless to tie us back up at 4-4. Sheesh. I told you, Run, this feels like one that could go the distance.
I know, and I doubted you for a second, but it was a good round. BlackHole attack significantly better this time around. Team Chosen wasn't playing so far off. Felt like they just closed in, closed the doors. Good shield play across the board, and yeah, BlackHole answered back. 4-4.
Okay, so, man.
Defenders,
Blackbeard continuing to be a thorn in the side of the Chosen defense. I imagine we'll see something similar to that ban when we get a little closer to the end of the round. In this case, they're going to stick it again. What do you do for it? Little traps, little pace setters. Got to find a way to slow down Trinsic. He's going to make the switch off of that. In fact, no shield going to be coming out here. They seem to have seen something they liked run, and they're going to run with it. Almost a full swap.
Yeah, figuring out where was the site going to be. So you had upstairs, we saw the basement to start off with. Chosen dominated that on the defensive side. They go Jim. BlackHole picks up this one. So where's the defensive side you want to play this time? Kenny taking some shots outside, but it's against a drone in this case. They're going to play the tertiary site and try and hold on rather than running back the gym bedroom again, which again feels very similar to the way that Chosen was playing NightHaven. Standard site rotation. They didn't really want to focus on trying to run it back at all. They're like, we're gonna stick the strat. That feels like that's coming from some of the experienced players that are on this team. So he's finally gonna get Claymore down though. Claymore, they can be tough sometimes.
Look at this, a quick push in. He's going to put some pressure on the Secret. He's going to be rewarded. And
Nah!
he's able to take Merlin off the board, and that's a huge pick as the Tuberau goes down. So all of the efforts to slow down getting that main breach open now going to be denied as that C4 and those Zoto canisters are dealt with.
Yeah, that is huge. You losing the DMR, losing the Zotos, that's going to definitely make this easy to get that main wall open. But gonna have to or get some of the other walls open as they've got the can openers. The problem is it's a vault prompt in, so they're going to have this this warehouse side completely cleared out, safe to be able to try and make that push to hold the red side. So right now the defense still locked in up top, holding on to the warehouse side. So easy. It's got those, the magnets in play, and because of the can openers, it is just a tiny spot that he needs to try and hold. So he's in the right spot. Feels like it's moving a little bit slow for this BlackHole attack team. They got all 5 left alive, but they're getting close to that final minute of gameplay. They got to get cooking, my friend.
No kidding. Bit of a slowdown here as the battle over stock starts to ensue. A couple of pre-fires as Mozzie's trying to take Nah off the board. He's been sitting there since he got that kill onto Merlin, just sitting in that cut roll, looking for some of those opportunities. Now is always going to block that off. That's going to allow the Mozzie to get to some relative safety and slow them down just a tad. 43 as it starts to count down. They made their way fully into construction. Now we do have Mozzie underneath. No C4 in hand, though, so he's going to be playing into that lurk roll. Kenny and Ty both able to take one off. They got themselves in a good position to plant, but it's a good night. But was able to find him. Easy takes one, and what was looking like a pretty good round has just rapidly fallen apart for Toxic in this BlackHole team.
Another defensive win there for Team Chosen. Man. Right place, right time, shuts down the attack as they go up 5-4. We are in the semifinal game, best of 3, map 3, all the way down to that final operator ban at this point. So they got rid of all of those breach denial ops from BlackHole attack side. The Bandit, the Cade, are they going to continue the trend? They're going to take down the Mirror. And honestly, I felt like they have dealt with the Mirror very well overall. But if you're going to take down the Mirror, Chosen going to get rid of the Ace as well. I think the ranged hard breaches, they were still in play, so they didn't run, didn't run a lot of the Mirror. We'll see whether or not, man, they're showing a double shield. And we're going to hold off talking about the attack for a second, but that could be devastating there for the Team Chosen side. The thing that I really like that they started playing is the combination of the Mozzie and the Mute, right? Kenny's been playing that Mozzie very effectively, and it's managing the intel on the BlackHole attack side, right? Steal it, block it, prevent it. And that, I think, is one of the things that is giving the Team Chosen a bit of an edge right now. So I like the fact that they're running that pair again.
Yeah, intel and opportunity, right? And their defense is set up to really deny a bunch of that intel, and that's going to take away from some of those opportunities. Man, if they win 2 in a row, they're on that match point scenario, and this one could just about be over. But if history is going to repeat itself, this should be a BlackHole win. What are they bringing along to the table to try to combat that intel deficit? Well, maybe a little Grim might help with that.
To locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, we saw Grim be an important part of some of the previous rounds, but just not enough, right? Gaining a little bit of intel on where this defense was playing, but ultimately still had to win the gunfight. So they they stick one of the shield play as we see Trinsic stay on that Blackbeard. And you called his name earlier, 4 and 3. He was the guy to beat. And again, all these scores are post post rehost, so there's a number of kills on the board as we had a rehost at the end of round 5. So those stats are even more stacked up. And take a look at all these drones that are happening, all this intel coming out here for this BlackHole attack side. Even with the Mozzie and the Mute in play, felt like BlackHole was getting a ton of utility from this drone game. And right now, Fenrir, Merlin, the guy that is potentially in the hot seat, as all the drones seem to be converging on his spot.
Yeah, no kidding. Sussed out for sure, which means he's going to come under some fire relatively quickly. But they've got that presence up top, Run. They still have the Mozzie Aruni up top. It's a similar feat that we saw BlackHole playing, where they're bringing along that clubhouse sandwich. Now, Blackbeard and Buck starting to make their way up as they're looking to put some pressure not just onto that top floor presence, but onto the first floor as well. Rooney going to take some damage, but not going to see death through that last engagement. Tadic's able to take easy killing off the board, and that's going to be the first. Now, it comes at a cost. Blackbeard is now in that 1 HP and a dream scenario, but look at this. Merlin on the rotate back up.
I love
he
this
was
lurk.
down below. The lurk could play off huge here. Finds one. Kenny takes now off the board, and that's going to get equalized on that number count. Now, they're going to start to converge on him.
What a legend!
Legendary play. Now into the freezer. Going to be rewarded with another one. There it is. Kenny on the triple. Kenny now on pace for the ace with a 5 HP in a dream scenario. Grim Bees are going to start to go out. Mozzie's location has been sus, and they start to go up towards the top. Merlin's able to take Tadix off the board, and now it's all going to be up to the Grim to try to bring this one back. A 1v4, and this is in a go big or go home scenario. C4 is going to take some damage. Now he's a low health, rotating down to dirt. See if he can make a play from below.
You called out the Grim earlier as the guy to get it done. He still lives, got a ton of beats. They're going to know exactly where he's at. Swings on one. Kenny was going for that ace. Merlin still loses his life, so that 3K is going to be where he stays, but Badip was ready for it, holding on to the top of dirt, holding that vertical angle. Honestly, loved this one, and that was a great round there from this from the team chosen to put them on match point. And it's not just match point, my friend. Match point, map point, and semi-final point here in the AGL Christmas Tourney.
Go big or take the proverbial bus ride home. BlackHole now need to be perfect for 2 to bring this to overtime, to bring this into that grand final match that everybody wants. They need every single round to get it done. Gym Bedroom, the chosen site for the battleground. Clash going to be back on the board. Slow down City with a zombie and the intel to boot. It's a good defense to hold out. It's a good defense for a gotta win at all costs. No castle. No, I don't know if that's a mistake or a positive. They're not doing any bandit charges on the breaches or anything, because obviously they're not allowed. So knowing they're going to get opened up anyways means, you know what? We don't need them. We'll bring the Azami, the architect, instead.
Yeah, to me, the combination of the Azami and the Clash sort of fills in a little bit of the space that the Castle and the Mirror kind of play on this map. So, yeah, I mean, you could have chosen the Castle, certainly, but, right, not having the Mirror available, I honestly like this combo. Right, the Clash Azami combo. And when you factor in the Aruni as well, bringing along the DMR, just blocking off some of this this attacker util, and then the mobile mirror of the Clash, and it's one of the things that BlackHole I think had trouble dealing with on some of the previous rounds. So this one feels like a very good one for Team Chosen. So BlackHole, you are on the back foot, my friends. It is a must-win scenario. You have to be perfect for 2 to send it to overtime. Otherwise, Team Chosen is that team moving on to the grand finals here in the Christmas Tourney. You're going to let that happen? You're going to shut this team down right now.
Looking to take some garage presence here. Claymore's onto the windows for the inevitable jump outs that will happen. Blackbeard and Capital already now taking up some good space on the site overplay. Now it's time to put some pressure onto this Clash player who does sit the top of red. One of those critical push points for sure. Got the BP dealt with. Now start to make that push towards securing that main advantage.
Now, the thing that feels like certainly BlackHole can't do is stall this thing out. I mean, we're already talking about a minute in. You still have got all 10 left alive. They've got one can opener on that main breach, but you still have Clash holding down top red. It is very spread out attack here from BlackHole. They're focusing what appears to be over on the jacuzzi side of the breach, but you're going to have to try and deal with the bathroom as well. And there goes that wall opened up, and man, said they needed to move faster. Boy, they're certainly taking that advice. Is now in the C4, claims one. Huge C4 play there.
Yeah, now there's going to be no possibility for that flank from the other side as well, right? Because Clash still hold up in the Cash CCTV side. Addicts goes down now into a 5-3 scenario.
No way.
As it starts
No way.
to fall apart for BlackHole Esports here. They do take Clash down. Arena goes down as well as the double rings out. That's going to be the equalizer onto the body balance now. Deimos looking to secure that lead, that man advantage by looking towards the Valkyrie, who is below. Definitely playing with a C4 still in hand, but Dip able to take Na off the board. Now into that 3-2 scenario. Valkyrie going to potentially be playing spoiler here once they've gotten themselves in for a plant. Blackbeard alone inside.
He's got the diffuser too.
Yeah, going to try to get it done. Trinsic's able to take T off the board, and this is going to take us into a 2-2 scenario. That C4 is pre-placed now, potentially, to stop the plant once they get themselves into a good position. Blackbeard's now starting to make the push-up. Is looking for that shield.
He got the shield!
Find it! Oh, man, not able to take him down. Shot from the back, though, going to end his life, and that's going to do it! The TKO! No!
No way!
Oh, yeah, I hate to see it. Tough.
Yo, my friend, GG's in the chat across the board. Team Chosen comes up with a big win there on map 3. Yeah, we are talking about 7-4, no overtime required. Man, it felt like maybe we were going to see it, maybe, but we have not seen an overtime between either of these teams. It's like once you get just that little bit of edge, I don't know whether or not the mental fell apart, but Team Chosen came alive and when they needed to. And if you only caught map 2 and map 3 of this best of 3, I mean, honestly, that would have been shocking to see how poorly Team Chosen played on map 2 to come back and win on map 3. Big GG's to them, to moving on to the grand finals here in the AGL Christmas tournament.
That's right. And still looking for their partner, their grand finalist to take them on as well. That match going to take place tomorrow on Caster 4, our friend's channel, as he's going to be bringing the heat for that best of 3. I can't wait for that one to see who they're going to be playing in this Christmas tourney brawl for it all.
Yeah, that was a good one, my friend. It's one of the things we talk about all the time. We love getting a chance to highlight the new upcoming leagues, the new upcoming players here on the Siege Double Shot. And there's some players on Team Chosen for sure that you know and love and have been on the channel for a long time, but a lot of new ones as well. Again, thanks to AGL for inviting us over to cast one of their matches. Caster 4 for making that introduction for us, and appreciate everybody that joined us throughout the entire night. Now, the big question, my friend, is whether or not it's over. This is the question, because you know what's going on right now in the Siege world. SI Last Chance Open Qualifiers in Asia are actually going on right now. And there's a chance that we're going to jump into some of those games here before the evening is over.
Yeah. That's right. So we'll send it on to a quick break here as we kind of figure out what our next plan is. So sit back, relax, because when we come back, we're going to chat about it. Mayo.
Let's go.
Well, dang it. We missed it just by 5 minutes for the match. We were so close to bringing you some APL. And who knows, it may still be in the cards tonight. There may be another double shot stream coming at you, as we might cover one of those later on games. You're going to have to wait an hour. So until then, I guess it's time run to just say goodbye for now.
Yeah, we had some great games here on the AGL Christmas tourney, and I know we've got a lot of 6 invitational last chance qualifier action coming up. Tomorrow we're going to be sticking with the nade shot, the standby LFO team throughout that entire bracket, covering all of their games. And then, yeah, whether or not we can catch one of the APL, APAC North, OCE games coming up is a bit of a question mark, but honestly looking forward to it.
Yep, that's right. So stick around, double shot. Your one stop for all things LCQ for the APL, OCE, NAL, and EML, potentially, right? FML right now? I don't know. I'm tired. It's time, folks. We've reached that dreaded part of the evening where we must, alas, bid you adieu. Go check us out on all the socials. Follow us. Ask your questions if you want your team casted. You know where to find us, folks. But as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Ayo.
Let's go.